My people, where you at? Where you at? Wake up from your slumber. Stop sleeping. Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your. Come on, come on, come on. I know you're sleeping now. Y'all gotta wake up some more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not go. I said we tired with their lies, we tired with their promises that led us to a lot of damages. We tired with their speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrate us. So why did you lie? Why did you steal? Why did you allow the citizens to beat? See, we just tell you that why we vote tell you. But you fool us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not corrupt. No one to trust. My people, no one to hope on. Nobody. My hope that I have been broken. I'm telling you, brother. So where are the schools? Where are the roads? Where are the jobs that they say they could afford? But they're too selfish. The people tired with their rhetoric. People tired, they tired. You see the reason why we ask why the government betray. They have enough of time, but yeah, then instead they delay. People suffer. No work for people crying for hunger. Look at. Your vision and your mission, your intention to the nation, they poor. You got nothing to show. Nothing. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So much. They lie. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not corrupt. We tired with their promises that led us to a lot of damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrate us. So why did you lie? Why did you steal? Why did you allow the citizens to beat? You see, we just tell you that why we vote tell you. But you fool us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. The people fool us, the people lie to us, the government betray us. So much. I said they lie.
You are welcome to the Bottom Line Liberia.
Yes, indeed. You're welcome to the Borderline Liberia. Today is July 8th, Tuesday, 2025, coming to you live from mainland Europe. My name is Jamal Kamara. Tonight, we have a house full of powerful guys. We've been making this program a very successful one. Tonight, I'll be joining my colleagues to discuss issues that make headlines in Liberia as well as around the globe. Tonight, I have with me the good friend of King Charles, Paul the Lord Cholople. Paul, how are you today? And also my good friend from all the way, the most powerful man in Europe, I call him, is Francis Monumensa. He's also with us tonight. And the guy behind the microphone, the good friend of the microphone, called Leave for Egon. Guys, welcome to tonight's show. I got a lot of issues to discuss. They introduce yourself, and then I'll put a topic on tonight. The menu, what is on the menu tonight, they will be discussing. And not forget, we'll be talking about international as well. What is happening on the international scene. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, Arlene, Jamal.
Go ahead, welcome. Paul, I'll start with you. Tell me how you feel today in the Kings, also the more powerful city of London. Tell me how you feel tonight and how we're going to go tonight from you. And I also have a news that this weekend there's an African summit taking place in London. I know if you have some information, you'll be bringing on tonight. That's a much more of international news. But anyway, let me go to my colleagues and I'll tell her how they feel from their various environment or their various setting for various studios. And I didn't tell you, Linfa is all the way in Norway. And while Francis is in Sweden and Paul is in London, and I'm in Manchester. We may be joined also by Mr. Morris Yankuba Dolly tonight as well. Gentlemen, Paul, I'll start from you before I go to Linfo. How are you tonight, boss?
Well, good evening, gentlemen, and good evening to our audience. It's good to be back on the Bottomland discussion. The Lord Cholope is good. It's good to be on Money Living, and I'm happy to be in paradise. Jamal, you missed a day. On Saturday was the Lord Cholope birthday, and had a very good celebration, overwhelming messages that came to me from all walks of life, and I'm happy to be on Money Living. So, guys, it's good to be back here.
Thank you. Is that okay? Are you said? I think the Francis. Are you? I think you're sitting pretty good now. How do we do well in? How you doing well in Sweden there tonight?
Well, I'm doing well. In good health, sound mind. Kind of elated because of the news coming back home from Liberia. The government is doing well, and life is going to change for the people.
No, good news. Wow. Before we go to Linfo, we'll put on the screen the what is on the menu tonight from Liberia, and before then we will talk about what is happening on the international scene. Paul will take us through. But let's go to the guy who is a good friend of the microphone. Linfo, how are you tonight?
Well, I'm great, and I'm doing fine. We've been having up and down with the weather here. It's like because we had early, what you call that, summer in May, which was unusual. So we are paying the price. So it's like the day before yesterday was good day. Then yesterday was rain, and today is good. So we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. For me, one thing I don't do, especially in the winter, I don't check a weather report. I wake up in the morning, what I see is what I go by. They got some people who are so concerned with this thing. They see the weather 1 week ahead. I ain't got time for that thing because I got I can't get no control way.
Yeah.
But
Right.
or else everything is good, and we want to say belated birthday again to Paul on behalf of the Portland Liberia. Though we did wish him happy birthday, and my birthday was on the 29th. Nobody wished me birthday, but I'm used to that. I'm an
All right.
old boy in the game, so the blessing
Yeah.
is like Paul always say, we are still here. This is paradise, and we are enjoying paradise. So let's say welcome to all of our viewers. Those of you joining us for the first time, I want to say good evening to you. We are coming to you from the heart of Europe, and this is the bottom line Liberia discussions where the issues are discussed to the core. Welcome.
Right. Before we bring you the topic tonight, we'll be taking a commercial break and we will take a pause. Take us through, please.
Di Lorenzo, G Grace. Hemsburger, Liberia number one, Liberia number one, right? Okay.
The phrase, a new sheriff is in town, does not only belong to law enforcement. How about the introduction of Liberia's premier vodka, a quality and customized liquor for all occasions? Try the flavor of your choice. Hans Vodka, Hans Honey, Hans Bitter, and Hans Original Vodka. Hans Vodka has no hangover. That's why they say Papa drink Mama happy. Hans Vodka is sold in all stores, shops, supermarkets, and entertainment centers in Liberia. For wholesale, contact Hans Vodka at 0777 001114, 0777 979. We can also be reached via social media on Facebook and IG at Hans Vodka or www.hansvodka.com. In the United States, please contact Hans North America Incorporated at 610-543-9289, 484-888-1622, 484-755-8411. Hans Vodka is approved by the U.S. federal government. Hans Vodka brings out the real man in you.
I tell you, in my boy, in my blood. Every time when I stay on the block, everybody knows it. We hustle. And forgot that number one. Oh, from Liberia all around. In supermarket store and everywhere. And forgot that number one. Oh.
Once again, thank you for joining us again, wherever you join us from. Tomorrow is my name, Tomorrow, from live from to you coming to you live from Manchester. Once said before we continue, gentlemen, could you somebody mute themselves? It's a noise in the background, please, if you mind. Good. I want to just share with you what we got tonight on the menu tonight. This is the menu tonight, gentlemen. It's a good thing coming up from Liberia, but first, this politics, economic, international relations, infrastructure, education, as well as the international news. But this is we're just going to go through the topics. Just tell you what it is. Then we'll take to Paul. We'll go to Paul to tell what's happening on the international scene. Then we'll go back the topics. Tonight, we'll be looking at what is happening. There's a Liberian politician called Simon Freeman, who is asking for the government to reduce from 6 years to 4 years term presidency in Liberia. We're also looking at the economy. What happened in Liberia? An American company signed a massive contract, $1.8 billion contract in Liberia, that's using our railways in Liberia to connect. So it's a good news. We'll be discussing that tonight, as well as, the leaders of African leaders are going to the U.S. for the African Business Summit. That's another news we'll be talking at. And a good news for Liberia, since 178 years, Liberia's Freeport is having 24/7 service. What a news. We'll be discussing that. So we have a man who is an expert on maritime with us tonight. We'll be telling them, is it a benefit to Liberia? It's going to be like a labor strain or constraint on the labor market for our labor in Liberia. So we'll be looking also at the education. Our most higher university is talking about flacking fraud, academic fraud, and also overstaffing in the university. Those are the main one we'll be discussing tonight and other international news. So we're going to go back to Paul to tell us what we got on the international decks. Paul, how are you tonight?
Well, good evening, Jima. I'm doing extremely well. It's good to be back here. Jima, can you bring Padoli on? He's in the background, please.
All right, okay.
Yes. So we're doing great. It's good to be back here on this Bottomland discussion. And think before we go further, I want for Linford or you, Jima, to recognize some of the viewers I just joined you for the first time.
Okay. I think Linford will help us, or Francis. I can't see from my end. I think one of you guys have to help me from there. What I'm seeing, I'm seeing, I don't know. I can't see anything. Paul, Linford, can you help?
Let Linford go ahead.
Okay. Thank you very much. I can see many of the people they on my page where I happen to see their names, but I recognize one of my little nephew, from my time. He's also cousin to the Gonglos, to Taiwan and Eden and all the people. Their sister and brother's children. So it's good that P is following. So whatever we say, P is going to convey the message to my town that we were on the Bottomland Library discussions and talking. So in fact, if they got signal there, I know you will invite all the board. So see, the thing is, I see a lot of people on my page who are sharing the show in all my groups. There was a guy called Sparky. He's watching, but I didn't see him. He's not showing, but he made sure on my page. So it's a lot of people watching. But I want to say thank you to all of you. If this is your first time, make this place your home and take the message. Welcome all of our boys and let them tune in. This is where we give you information as they happen. We do not polish anything here, and we do not sugarcoat anything. So welcome to all of you, and stay with us. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Linford. So let's dive into this. Look, guys, I just want to surprise all of you today. Don't you know the crazy guy called Donald Trump is now been he's going to get a Nobel Peace Prize? Will you guys believe that? When I'm this, what I'm going to show you, that Donald Trump now is a suggestion that his name have been put forward for the Nobel Peace Prize. Why am I saying this? And the guy who proposing for Donald Trump to get a Nobel Peace Prize, he's one of the notorious criminals in the world that have been wanted by the ICC, the International Crime Court, for crime against humanity. So, guys, that is the story today. Is Donald Trump going to get the Nobel Peace Prize as proposed? So we'll be diving into that. In other news, Donald Trump decided to somersault on the Ukraine war, that he decided to say he's not going to support Ukraine anymore. Then today he came back to say, oh, he's going to send arms. So we don't know what side he's heading. And Netanyahu, there's pressure on him now from the Israelis to stop the war. Even there was a protest in the United States from the Jewish community that this guy should stop the war and he should face the war crime, that he need to go to the RCC and face the war crime. So the focus is Gaza. Donald Trump, will he stop this war? His name has been put forward for the Nobel Peace Prize. So I got a 6-minute clip here. We'll play it briefly, and then we'll have a discussion on this, and then we'll move on. Will the people in Gaza be free? That is the question. So this information I'm going to put out here is from Channel 4 News in the UK. So they are the source supporting Channel 4 News. Are rolling this.
In the Blue Room of the White House, the President of the USA hosts the Prime Minister of Israel.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. It's an honor.
The backdrop to a possible ceasefire this week, Gaza is in ruins. Israel accused of genocide. Its hostages still not home. But Hamas still not vanquished. So imagine you're a Gazan with no home, or a hostage family in purgatory, and listen to this loving.
It's an honor to have Bibi and Sarah with us, friends of mine for a long time, and we had a tremendous success together. And I think it will only go on to be even greater success in the future.
But this is chess on a global board. Who is gaming who? Trump, who's backed Netanyahu to the hilt, but now needs payback for supporting him over Iran. And Netanyahu, the political survivor, who knows his audience at home and abroad. Sweet nothings, not so much whispered as shouted to the global media.
He's forging peace as we speak, in one country, in one region after the other. So I want to present to you, Mr. President, the letter I sent to the Nobel Prize Committee. It's nominating you for the Peace Prize, which is well deserved, and you should get it.
Thank you very much. This I didn't know. Wow. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Coming from you in particular, this is very meaningful. Thank you very much, Bibi.
Thank you. Thank you for everything.
A man who mooted clearing Gaza of its residents to build posh seaside hotels, nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize by an alleged war criminal. Netanyahu indicted at the International Criminal Court for crimes against humanity. There's no doubt these men are transforming the geopolitics of the Middle East. But let us see what the Nobel decision makers will make of Trump the peacemaker, a prize he covets above much else.
They won't give me a Nobel Peace Prize because they only give it to liberals.
As these best buddies toured the latest additions to the White House Art Gallery, Gazans continue to die. the aftermath of Israeli raids in Gaza City, where half-burnt food is the most important thing to salvage from the rubble.
الليلة في حوالي الساعة 1:30 ليلا تفاجأنا بصوت انفجار قوي جدا تضررت منه العديد من المباني بما فيها منزلنا هذا. هرعنا، كان هناك العديد من الإصابات داخل المنزل نتيجة لتساقط شظايا البيت والأبواب والجدران على الأطفال. بعد ذلك سمعنا صراخ عند جيراننا فهرعنا فوجدنا يعني العديد من الجثث مقطعة إلى أجزاء من بينهم طفلة رضيعة لا يتجاوز عمرها 4 شهور.
According to local health authorities, in the past 24 hours alone, 105 bodies were delivered to the hospitals that are still functioning. And in recent weeks, many more have been killed or injured while desperately trying to get aid from the controversial Gaza Humanitarian Foundation.
More Palestinians were reportedly killed over the weekend while attempting to get food. Partners tell us that several hospitals are overwhelmed as they saw a surge in patients injured while seeking aid.
This is now what huge numbers of Gazans call home. Many already displaced multiple times.
حالي زي حال كل النازحين على أحر من الجمر بننتظر الهدنة. النزوح موت والهدنة بننتظر فيها بالثانية. بنعاني معاناة يومية أو يمكن معاناة لحظية.
بنستنى والله في الدقيقة احنا قاعدين. والله معاناتنا على المية، معاناتنا على التكية، معاناتنا على كل حاجة يا خالتي. والله بنستنى وبنسأل كل واحد هيك أني من الله أول شيء قبل أي حدا إن تخلص هالمعاناة هذه ويخلص الحرب عاد. والله تعبنا يا خالتي، الحمد لله هو بس خلص بكفي. والله إني أكتر من هيك لا خلص معي تعبنا، والله تعبنا يا خالتي، الحمد لله أول شيء.
Many Israelis are also tired. This, the funeral of one of 5 soldiers killed by explosives last night in Beit Hanun. But the spectre of October 7th still haunts Israeli politics, and the far-right politicians propping up Netanyahu's coalition are unwilling to countenance anything other than total exile and destruction of Hamas. Israel's defense minister suggesting today that all of Gaza's residents be moved again, this time to Rafah, in what he called a humanitarian city. Satellite images show how large parts of Rafah have been obliterated in previous efforts to isolate Hamas. These new plans decried by human rights lawyers as a blueprint for ethnic cleansing. While some polls suggest most Israelis now want the war to end, Netanyahu is buoyed by his recent attacks on Iran's military leadership and nuclear program. Netanyahu needs a personal endgame that avoids his criminal prosecution and political demise. Last night, Netanyahu returned to flattering his supporter and host, commending Trump's deeply divisive suggestion that Gazans should be encouraged to relocate to neighboring Arab nations.
I think President Trump had a brilliant vision. It's called free choice. You know, if people want to stay, they can stay. But if they want to leave, they should be able to leave. It shouldn't be a prison. It should be an open place and give people a free choice.
Thank you all very much. Thank you. Thank you.
And of hopes for a ceasefire, President Trump said that in his mind there is no hold-up, and it could be announced this week, despite Israel rejecting Hamas amendments over aid distribution and its condition that IDF attacks wouldn't resume if peace talks don't succeed.
Guys, so this guy has been nominated by his good friend Netanyahu for the Nobel Peace Prize. You listen to that, but before we talk about it, there is a 1-minute clip I want to play, then we conclude on the international thing. There is a protest against Netanyahu. It's just a minute, please.
Thank you very much. We are standing here in front of the White House while Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, is visiting here. This happens after 21 months of genocide in Gaza, where tens of thousands of innocent men, women, and children are being mass murdered, and little children are being starved to death. This is about time to stop. The world is waking up already for this entire time, and it is time for the rest of the world to wake up. We as Jewish people, when we are seeing what's happening, when all of this is happening supposedly in our name, this is embarrassing to us as a people, and this is a desecration of our religion, when the Jewish religion is being misused to justify all these crimes. Netanyahu comes here supposedly representing all Jews, and he wants to make a statement that if you oppose crimes he is committing, then you are opposing the Jewish people, which ends up being anti-Semitic. This is misleading, and all of us, the world, has to understand. We have to know better. This is nothing about anti-Semitism. This is about crimes taking place. Benjamin Netanyahu, a war criminal, wanted by the International Court. As was said before, he doesn't belong in the White House, he belongs in The Hague.
Okay. So, just to conclude, on the international scene, I would like all of you to have a take on this, the situation in Gaza, that Netanyahu now gave his sent letter to the Nobel Peace Prize to honor his good friend Donald Trump for the Peace Prize. So, guys, you watch the video. What your take on this? Jamal, Francis, Linford, and Padole. Anyone can go first.
Let me go first, guys.
Let's mute, guys.
Okay. Listen, Paul. What I've seen so far, I would go to the Nobel Peace Prize. I don't know the conditions or the yardstick they use to. Do you hear me, guys? To use to appoint or select the Peace Prize winner. Probably Linford, who lives in Norway, will be having more knowledge on this, because I know you've attended a couple of the Peace Prize ceremonies. But this is a mockery. Nobody's going to what peace this guy brought to the world since he came in. He just keep arming Israel to kill people in Gaza. This is a mockery, big time mockery. Nobody's going to listen to him. He want a bad time. People know they want a bad time, and that this is just a joke. And the good thing I'm also seeing here, the Jewish people, more especially the rabbi there, and working in army, I'm in shoulder with the Palestine in the USA to condemn him, and that's a very, very good move, because that's a rabbi there, and those are the most respected people in Israel, more especially when you talk about the Jewish states. These are the religious people, and people listen to them a lot. If they come out to openly, publicly condemn what this guy is doing, it's a plus for the people of Gaza. I think we can see the end to this satanic thing this guy is doing to the people of Gaza. We've talked about it. We all know, we have spoken on this platform about the hypocrisy of the words. We heard about about Donald Trump, who is telling people that he can bring peace, he can turn everything around. He had a magic wand, he can make things happen. When he gets into the White House, whatever what he has done is just escalating wars, killing people, and this. So the issue of Nobel Peace Prize is a joke. He's not going to get it. I know the people in Norway, they're smart enough, they're intelligent people. The people on the Nobel Peace Prize Commission or the committee, they know who they can give it to. And if they tell me, if they can have him on the list as one of the candidates, that whole process will be condemned.
Yeah, I mean, let me just follow up. I think if they intend to give Donald Trump the Nobel Peace Prize, they may as well go and wake up the likes of Hitler and and what the name Stalin, Putin. They should all be shortlisted. But again, listen, you guys should be surprised. Uh, Obama got the Nobel Peace Prize without say anything. He just came in. After that, he received the Nobel Peace Prize. He went after Libyan president. He went after a lot of other people. And just exactly what I been a couple of years ago, I told my wife, look, they presented Nobel Peace Prize to some people. I mean, look, activists. So I showed the guys, look, it is forced every year to give out the Nobel Peace Prize. If you cannot find anybody that is deserving of it, keep it. You don't have to give it every year. It doesn't make any sense. As much that always been talk about the recipients of the Nobel Peace Prize. Eddie Johnson Sirleaf, our own president, who created the war in Liberia, who set us back 14 years or set us back 100 years. There are being controversies about those who are receiving Nobel Peace Prize. For Christ's sake, if you don't have anybody give it to this year, let them just keep that damn thing.
Then to give it to Donald Trump, Linford. Or bring Padoli yet. Padoli come before Linford because he live in Norway. He'll give a better insight.
All right. To be realistic, Paul and Francis and Jemai, the whole thing is a joke. To be realistic, Donald Trump. How can someone look at men like Donald Trump to give you a Nobel Prize? It's not. But the point of the matter is, America today is a country where social one, social all. Everybody looking the wrong thing that going on, they doing, but no one have the gut, no one have the audacity to stand frankly to say what you doing is wrong. This is a man who look at Gaza and say the most white people say, then he want to build a hotel. Then he's someone who been demolishing the place, come and point finger at him, say, well, I'm recommending you for Nobel Prize. Now we see how Norway will do it. That's what I can say here. Because the whole thing is a hypocrisy. The white people, the Westerners have not met enough to stay friendly to say this thing, what you do is not right. More especially the Prime Minister from Israel. He killing people every single day. Calculate. Not one person, not two persons. So I don't know. That's what I can see this thing here. I don't have much to say. I think we will go to our liberal politics because a lot of things will come in my end.
Yeah. So, Linford, I mean, what Padoli just said and Francis is there's no surprise. Why then, if Donald Trump to be nominated, then they must give it to Ayatollah Khamenei as well. He should be done because it's the two people that went after each other lately. What say you? Talk to us.
Yeah, let me welcome a couple of our viewers. Puyu, Chida, Ase Cowboy, Kane, Bruno K, Ire Valentine Pine, and of course Pataki and P are still here. But for those of you whose names I didn't mention and you are here, I want to say welcome. This is the bottom line Liberia. We do discuss news from Liberia and also elsewhere in the world, Liberia being part of the Committee of Nations. But concerning the Nobel Peace Prize, trust me, Donald Trump can never get the Nobel Peace Prize, not now. And if you ask me why, I will tell you. No, let me tell you. Francis made a long list of people who received the Nobel Peace Prize. For example, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf did sponsor a war in Liberia, and then after the war, she became president, and she was making efforts to unite the country. In fact, under her reign, ECOMO or I call them the group that were there, they managed to sustain the peace to a
Yeah,
larger
Ulmer.
male. And that was based on that Ellen Johnson got the Nobel Peace Prize. And I'm saying that because I was very instrumental in that program. In fact, if anybody listened to that program in Liberia, it was through my instrumentality along with Radio Liberia International then, or Radio LRB International that was in America that will relay that program. So I was inside, I was in the building, and I know some of what happened, what they said. And then when it comes to Obama, Obama got a Nobel Peace Prize before he went to war. So you see, so it was a little bit tricky. Obama did not make a war before he got a prize. He went to war after the prize. And even the
I
early
said exactly. After you got a price, I mean, it's in the message. I mean, that damage the chicken and white chicken.
yeah,
You
yeah,
that
but
join
that
the
I
rear
said
off.
so. The Nobel Peace Prize people did not read his mind before giving him the prize. So, early, well, in fact, even until today, I think I can search that document and send it to you guys. The tele not the state broadcasting television station here, but there's another one which is second, which is TV2. TV2 was making a documentary, and they found out that Ellen Johnson did actually support the war, and she's been at the throat of all Liberian government. And they were proposing after that documentary. Somebody went to Liberia, one of the reporters. After that documentary, they were even proposing to the House that they should withdraw the Nobel Peace Prize from her, and only Lema Bowie should have it. But I don't know what happened. Probably there was some intervention there. That's why it didn't happen. So I can tell you that the Nobel Peace Prize to do their vetting, they know. Let me tell you, Norway, yeah, Norway is one of the countries that is very concerned with humanitarian crisis. Norway collects money. I have worked for that group. It's called the Norwegian Refugee Council. I've helped to raise money for that group before in 1980, I mean in 2008 for the whole of July, August. So I know what it's stand for. And they are supporting the injured people, the sick people in Gaza. So they will not sit down. And by the way, in Norway can select people or can do the final conclusion. They will also discuss with the committee in Sweden. The Gaza committee is both Sweden and Norway. As a matter of fact, that Nobel man comes from Sweden. The man
Yeah,
lives here.
let me just add up. I mean, yes, it's the Nobel Peace Prize. I mean, the committee is in Sweden. They decide in Sweden, but the presentation is done in Norway. Then the other prizes like economics, literature is done in Sweden. Just to add to what you just said.
Yeah, so the point I'm making is that in that one guy who everybody see, even the baby born today see that Netanyahu is clearly saying that they want to wipe out Gaza, ethnic cleansing, they want to clean the place, they want to, no Arab people should be there, and then the Norwegians that I know and the Swedish people who are live in Sweden as well, that I know the Scandinavians as a whole, that they will sit down and say, let's give Nobel Peace Prize to Donald Trump because Netanyahu said it. Amen. It would have been even me saying it. Somebody will say, okay, yeah, this is, but not on Netanyahu when he lifts his head, blood dripping. So it's not possible. Trust me. And somebody told me that Donald Trump lost praises. He let people to praise him. So I think he's doing that to win the sympathy of Trump. But I can tell you that the days of Netanyahu are being counted, and Trump is very unpredictable. One morning, Trump will wake up and tell his guy, "No, listen, you're on your own." Now it will be him versus the people of Israel. Did you listen to that rabbi? That rabbi
Oh,
said,
BB.
it's not speaking in our name. It's a misrepresentation of the Jewish people. Okay? So the days are closing up on him. But I can guarantee if the Nobel Peace Prize will go to Trump, I personally will never respect the Nobel Peace Prize committee anymore. But I believe, I can tell you that I can put if several people will put a last on the line for that. I'll be one of them that, hey, Frank can never win this prize. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Anybody can
I
nominate
mean,
anybody can nominate
BB,
Paul. But they look at
BB,
it like,
BB recommended the mail. Tom calling BB.
yeah,
BB. Take it come from you, BB. I know it's good. It's genuine.
yeah, no, I know
Oh,
he's,
I
he's,
mean,
he's a tremendous, he's very tremendous.
bunch of
Yeah,
jokers.
so Jamal, that's the story of the day on the international scene. It's laughable that Trump is now being nominated by one of the world notorious criminal. So back to you guys. Take us through to Liberia. That's the scene on the international scene.
Thank you very much. Once again, I want to say thank you for joining us. Wherever you join us, please share the show. This is the Borderline Liberia coming to you from mainland Europe. Jemma is my name, and my colleagues are in here tonight with us. They're all from mainland Europe. So tonight we'll be going deeper into LIB. We call it LIB, Liberia in short. So this is what we got tonight, guys. I want to share with you tonight's story. Look at the first one. Simon Freeman proposes reducing terms of office for 4 years. This is a political. Let me see what he said. So I'm going to quote what he exactly said. He was a keynote speaker of Fifth University over the weekend in Liberia, and he's a politician. He's I think the presidential candidate for all the political leader of the movement for People Progress Movement Party, something like that. Let me see what a party is. Yeah, Movement for Progress Change. It's a Simon Freeman. He said, this is what he said. He said he wants the people to reduce the senators and representatives from 6 to 4 years. What his condition is, this is what he said. Um, he said, when, I want to quote him, when officials know they have only 4 years, they won't waste time. Freeman said, they will be under pressure to deliver real results and risk losing office. I'm quoting the front page newspaper. This is what he said, gentlemen. So this is the first topic. What do you think? Can the leadership, can the people go back to the office and remove from 6 years to 4 years? Does Simon Freeman's statement make sense here, gentlemen? Anyone can take it from me.
Yeah, let me come in. Jamal, and I think Linford and I will live in we live on a bypass, and we were closer to the executive mansion before the coup. The president was 4 years in office. That was the old constitution that we had. Senators were 6 years, and all of the representatives were 4 years. You see, when you make it 4 years, it's easy for people to come up with their agenda, and then when they enter office, they start implementing it from day one. When you make it 6 year, group of people will say, "Oh, let's see first." Then in the first 2 years, we'll start correcting our mistake. So I think Simon Freeman here is spot on, and this situation, I know that other lawmakers have been calling for it, but they're not serious about it. I think it's about time that probably the public, they say the power is inherent in the people. I think those who intend to protest on the 7th, on the 19th of July, those are the recommendations they're supposed to be making forward, that these guys reduce their term instead of them being there for. Imagine one man there 9 years. He getting 15,000 a month. Then he getting 4 vehicles within that 9 years. Think on it. And then there's no drugs in JFK. So when it's 4 years, it's less burden on the country, because it has 6 years they get 2 vehicles. But at 4 years, maybe they will only get 1 vehicle. And then if you don't perform within the first 2 years, campaign start already. They will kick you out. So I think 4 years is reasonable. So something that Liberians need to join him, let put pressure on the legislature so they can bring the 4 year terms back. I agree with him.
Okay, before somebody add, let me tell you what he also said. He says, I'm quoting the politician, Simon Freeman. He said, 6 years gives them too much time to do the wrong things before voters can act. He said, 4 years will allows for quicker correction if mistakes are made. So under 4 years, you'll be forced, if you don't want re-election or to be re-elected, in our first full year, like Paul said, he's saying that 6 years, they all got 6 years to play around. The first 2 years, I'll eat whatever, I'm full in my pocket. The 4 full years, I'll fill my pocket. The last 2 years, I'll begin to act on behalf of the community or from my constituency. So, gentlemen, you can tell us.
I think. Let me go.
Go on.
See what Paul said is true. People have been pushing that, but it had never been implemented in the house. Number one, these guys are the ones that make the law. So telling them to reduce their term is like shoot yourself in the head. Okay. So, and remember, like Paul said, long before it was 4 years for a representative, 4 years for the president, and 6 years for senator. And when 1986, when they amended the constitution, that's when the 9 year stuff came in. And the guys that did that thing, they meant to give themselves longer time in office. Okay. So now it was through a referendum. Okay, it was through a referendum, it was through a constitutional amendment. But right now, if Simon Freeman, if one person sends the bill in, they will kill it. It will not go because the representatives and senators do not want to reduce their terms. So all we need to call for is an amendment to the constitution, okay, which should go through a referendum. But if one person just proposes something like that, it will never go. I don't care what you do, stop it. It will not go. Who on the committees? The people on the committee are the ones making the law, and it's in their interest. Okay, if it was something against them, or in favor of them, if you told the guy, okay, we're going to increase the senators' term to 12 years, the president term to 8 years, and the representative turned to 8 years, oh yeah, it will go very fast. You see it? But reducing
Okay.
it will not go. And the way it became high, they tried to increase that thing, that number of years. It was through a referendum, and it was through a constitutional amendment. So the only way we can make any headway down there is by calling for amendment to that particular piece of law. So
Okay.
I don't see how much effort anybody can make in that direction. People will try, but
Francis, yeah, yeah.
what can happen?
Francis and Mr. Dollar, you've been around the corridors of politics in Liberia. What don't you think the citizen will can ask the representative to put a proposal in that change from 6 years to 4 years?
Oh, let me just jump in quickly. Look, George Weah, former President George Weah administration uh, proposed something similar, but the terms were a little bit shorter. The presidency said was to be 5 years, and then representative were 4 years, senators 6 years or so, or yeah, or probably yeah, or yeah, 6 years. But the Unity Party people, the opposition, uh, uh, miscarried uh, the message. And it fell flat. It became dead on arrival. So it was part of the I think the elections. Yeah, one of the I think one of the senatorial elections or so. It was part of it when DeLong was running as well. Yeah, so the Liberian people, did not accept it based upon the negative connotations that were attached to it by the opposition at the time. Uh, these guys were not the only means is by uh, referendum, and our people, do we have the willpower to ask for that to continue and be persistent? No, our people rely on few people, those advocates, those groups, civil rights groups to help them. But the people, public in general, should stand up, you know, and ask the government to and our lawmakers to make the necessary changes.
Okay. Mr. Dollar, what do you think?
Yeah, thank you. To be realistic is a good thing to be, but here is the problem. What John Weir did in his administration, he just proposed, but he himself was not serious to follow it up. If the president, sitting president of our country, in favor of any law to pass, I believe that he can pass. But John Weir just make a proposal to show to the people that yeah, oh, he's someone who really wants to see the reductions of things, tenure and blah blah. But he is the one that see it. But the best way that thing can really happen, if I may suggest, the representative go to 4 years, the president go to 4 years, the Senate go to 5 years, but also the car. One of the things that will discourage these lawmakers from sticking to this lawmaking position and here and there is this immunity that they're having, giving them free gasoline, giving them free electricity, giving them free car and this and that and rest of it. If the government, if the state government can take the lead, the campaign to reduce it with this pain and also to start some of this immunity from the lawmaker then they instead will be eager to see it being signed into the law. And the citizens have to petition all their lawmakers to say, look here, you either sign this document or we vote you out. The powers of a nation is in the hands of the population. But the population they say they are a weak man of people. Liberia is a kind of country that I never seen before in my whole life. We talk, but we don't act. Those that act, they say they classify them as a troublemaker. So that is the bigger problem we have in that country. So I hope Freeman will have people to start up with him to carry on this campaign. And the bureau committee people should also get around to start writing of petitions and things then to petition their lawmaker to come forward with this proposal. But it should be this way. 4 year president, 4 year representative, 5 year senator. Full stop. And also we stop giving them free car. If you work for your country, you get your salary, you should be able to buy car. There should be of vehicles that will transport the staff to work. Full stop. The salary they're getting is enough to buy them a car. So I think that should be one of the proportions we the Liberals should make. That's my own contribution
Thank you
into
very
this.
much. Yes, thank you. I think we all spoke on that issue, right? Paul has spoken on it, right? Yeah, thank you. Look, guys, I want to go quickly to what we have on the. There's a big news in Liberia right now, and I think we want to talk about it. Other news media, news outlets been discussing it. We need to discuss it as well because it's very important for us. And this is going to go for the 25 years of contract. We'll get even how signed a contract that been in since I think on a George we had the whole process started for on a George we are. I think some of you know much been going on right here with the use of railways in Liberia to connecting Guinea and this American company that over the weekend I heard that the contract was signed for 1.8 billion. But the thing is, the news was booked by the embassy, U.S. embassy, not the Liberian government. Until later yesterday, we received a press release from the Liberian government about the contract. I mean, the 1.8 billion that will be using our railways connecting. I think Guinea we're using the network. But then, guys, let me go through. You can take your time to explain to me. Is that a good thing for Liberia? And it is a good thing. What is coming to Liberia? Because if you look at the past contract, I think someone I was listening to phone last night. A guy spoke of the 19 something, 20 something, or 86 or 1946. Perhaps no sound a contract, keep the value start going up. But then, what are the benefits to our people? We all are happy for this contract. But let's first look at the benefits of the contract and what are the consequences. What do we get out of it? Once we got major companies. Look at Liberia, we got 6 different companies in Liberia, and apart from Fasno, that are putting up to $1 billion into Liberia in terms of investment, industrial investment. I think a couple of years ago we discussed that on the platform. But now we're looking at another one coming from America. This other one we're talking about all Asian countries. And now this is America coming up. And it was announced by the US embassy and not the company itself. So guys, I will give you a chance to look around and tell me look at the pros and the cons of this contract. Anybody can come first.
Yeah, I would like to come first, please.
Okay.
In the first place, I condemn the signing of that contract. To
You
matter of
what?
fact,
You
I
condemn it.
condemn the
Okay.
signing of that contract. The matter of fact, the contracts were not properly arranged because it did not even go through the House of Senate by criteria. That did not happen. Secondly, and the document was signed Sunday, the day that we all know that is now a working day. And he was signed by the president on a hurry manner because he's going to meet the American president. So you must have some message in hand to go there. All these things then, these are local aid to be of puppet attitude. So obviously, if the next thing that I really want to inquire, what will be the actual function of this particular contract? The railroad that you're talking about, which where they going to put the railroad? Only from between Liberia and Guinea or at many part of Liberia? Because we have a sensitive areas or good area that where when we have a railroad in this area, you will ease the traffic. You will ease the traffic for us. Like from Monrovia passing through Bombing to Lofa Bridge and all the way to Bahu, to Kulahu and Banyama. If you get that railroad, you will help out a lot. And I don't know where the railroad coming from and where you going.
Okay. Let me brief you before
Yeah, yeah,
other people. Let me
yeah.
tell you, you raised a question right now before other guys probably know. Uh,
No,
you is condemned.
I just want to
Yeah,
close
but you,
on so you can come up, please,
no,
Mr.
no, I want to
Jamal.
inform you so you can make a decision statement because you say you don't know where it's coming from. So at
Mhm.
least you should know where was coming from before you condemn it. That's what I want to know. Because you're saying the rule is like the people are using Guinea mines to connect to Liberia and use the port to go. That's a contract. So we have already real rules next to I think Nimba. What they could do to connect to Guinea and use use our Vera ports to export whatever they're using. They're using Guinea mines.
The people using Guinea man.
Yes.
So you
But
have nothing.
they're using our railways to go to
Yeah,
Kakane Liberia and use our port and export.
yeah, I agree. But what I'm trying to say, the reason why I condemn it is the manner in which how you will sign the contract will go into
Okay. All right then.
construction.
Okay
That
then.
is
Thank
Yeah.
you. Let's give other people the chance.
Look,
Go on.
look, let me just make the thing clear. First of all, there was no
President,
contract.
let
There
me
was
finish.
no con.
President, I beg you, let me finish with this because I want to bring something to you guys' attention. Even the Guinea government is doing a railroad from Forest to Conakry. We own it now. And on a daily basis, we trying to deal. I don't see the Guinean government have signed any contract with these people for their mine to go through Guinea, I mean Liberia, because they are laying the railroad right now from the forest all the way to the capital. That project is going on right now. So I don't know where you people coming from with this story that the mine in Guinea will be transported through Liberia because they started it since some client do time. It did not
All right.
materialize, which I'm
Well,
aware of.
okay then. Francis, what do you think? What's your point take on this?
Look, I mean, just make it clear. I mean, make you guys to understand. First of all, there was no contract signed by the president of Liberia and the government. There was a committee set up, the Interministerial Council, uh, set up set up by the president, and this negotiation has been ongoing since President George Weah. So the Interministerial Council, uh, which is headed by the we call it the National Investment Commission and other government, apparatus. Uh, Yesterday on Sunday gave the go ahead for uh, the negotiation for a contract to go into to be to be considered. So by law,
To be
contracts of
considered,
such
what
a
do you
nature,
mean to be considered? Because there is nothing under our law that says contract should be considered. It ought
they
to be
said it
signed
to
or not signed.
Give me
MOU.
challenge
Everything
finish.
is for. I mean,
I'm not giving chance
I'm,
because you go to David Unel. Give me chance. Give me chance. Let him David Unel.
MOU. A contract is signed by through the national legislature, and that was an agreement, a memorandum of understanding between the government of Liberia to the Interministerial Council, which was charged with responsibility of vetting the process and HRA, the company. So I just want to make it categorically clear that there was no contract signed, substantive contract signed, because the House of Representatives was now evolved. The Senate has to go to the House of Representatives, they go to the Senate for concurrence. So I don't know how you guys want to interpret it or which lens you want to use. Is it a political lens? Because this thing has been on over and over all across the radio stations. People have spoken, but only people who want to invoke political sentiments into it, those are the ones who are running with
Listen,
that.
Yeah, listen, just go to the mean of the case. Don't politicize this thing. Let's go to
No,
the issue of no,
that
no,
was
no.
that
Listen,
politics, but I'm
no, you
telling
don't.
you,
You politicize no argument. We're looking at
no,
the
not
benefit of.
politicizing. I'm telling you what it
We want you
is.
to speak on the issue. You said
I'm
there was
speaking on
no
the issue
controversy.
because
Listen,
there have been independent radio stations have been on this forever, all day today, all yesterday. They have spoken about this one issue, and it has been made categorically clear there was no substantial no agreement was signed between the government and Liberia. The memorandum of understanding. Memorandum of understanding does not suffice. It does not equate to an agreement.
but
It
if you
has
look
to
at
go through the
yeah,
House of Representatives, and then it go further to the Senate for concurrence. I
did
rest
Okay,
you
my
so
read?
case.
far, so right now, what is the status of the whole thing here?
Did you read
But
the press statement from the embassy, U.S. embassy?
American
yeah,
embassy is not a government of
No,
Liberia.
no. Did you read the press statement? Did you read the press statement
I
from
don't
them?
have to. I mean, it's all around. Oh, everybody ready. Everybody,
Or
it's a
can
short
you quote
statement.
what did he say?
but Francis, what was the
They said it
document
was a
that
landmark agreement between the government of Liberia and the government of Liberia. Who is the government of Liberia? So they did not sign it. Come, there's a memorandum of
So
understanding. So you
who
want to
okay,
believe the government
guys,
of
it's all
Liberia
right. It's okay. Let's give other guys
American embassy?
let's give the other party a round to speak on. Guys,
Yeah,
Linfo,
yeah.
what
I
you think?
mean, they have the right to go ahead and speak.
Um,
the,
Linfo?
what I want
I can clearly,
Mr.
I can
Dollar,
clearly
can we
tell
give
you,
other bitch mentions Linfo to speak, please?
I can clearly tell you that what Francis is saying here is not true because the
Mhm.
Americans will not lie. They got no interest in that thing to lie, and if they
Mhm.
have interest in it, they will not lie
So
also.
now Americans can't lie.
Not that they can lie, any human being can lie, but not the government. Not, you see, if you hold your government in high esteem, and then you try to put the Americans in the shoes that they lie for what? What would they lie for? This is your government that is running to America to go for support. The American president called and your president running to go there. So you think the Americans got any reason to lie? No. You see, sometimes when we talk, we should we know that we want to back the system. Even me here, in as much as I'm now a United Partisan supporter, if I go anywhere and anybody saying things that are not true about the Liberian government or the Unity Party, I will come in defense of my country and the party. Okay. But when things are clear and you want to twist it around, it's not right, Francis. You see, the thing is, parties will come and go. The CDC people did it a few years ago. It still rings in our ear. And then for Unity Party people to be doing it, and you know, it tells me that there is no need to trust anybody because people sit and say they will do this, will do this when the candidate do even worse. But I will tell you that if what I expected you to say is that the contract was that signed or it was signed. But by you saying that it was a memorandum of understanding and the interministerial committee was set. So why did the contract go on the president's desk if it was in the interministerial ministerial committee's domain? Okay, because that committee should be finished with it before sending it to the president. So if the what if when they send it to the president, according to your logic now, when they send it to the president, what if the president has signed it? So would the interministerial committee go and take it back from the president and say, no, bring it, you are not supposed to sign it?
Okay.
He's the last man to review that document and sign or any document and sign it. If you want to hang me, a committee that's supposed to investigate me will not take a document and carry to the president sign it for it before they come to review it. Then when they review it, they find out I'm not guilty, then they go to the president and say, no, move your signature. They will not do it. You see it? So I think if the government did, for me, I can't substantiate whether they did it or not, but if they did it, it was wrong. That was a breach of protocol, and we are waiting for this meeting in the United States of America. Even though President is saying that the relief from the American embassy was not true, they are not a government of Liberia. Fine, they are not a government of Liberia, but your president is there now. He's going to be subject to answering questions. So let's wait and see what will unfold from Washington, and then we
what
can take it from there. But I will consider it a bad deal for now if it was signed.
Paul, what do you think? What do you take on this?
Well, the thing is, I mean, any good deal that will benefit the people of Liberia,
Mhm.
I will go for it when it's done right. But if something is not done right, people have the right to talk about it. And I can tell you, the Unity Party, this current Unity Party, they have been doing things that are not right. And I can refer you to the yellow machine. When the first story first came out, it was gentleman agreement between my old friend who wanted to support my agenda. Then later on, we got to know there was money involved. So this is the common trend that has been happening with the Unity Party. So there will be no surprise when the American publish it. They mean there's smoke. You can't say there's smoke without fire. That is the operato of the Unity Party. There is complete violation of the law. If the president did sign it, there will be a complete violation of the law. And we're looking for good things for Liberia. We all want good things for our people. Do it right. Let us celebrate. Let open our champagne and say, yes, something good. But don't just do things rush, and then in the end, it backfire. I think if that contract is genuine, is signed, there'll be, I mean, tens of thousands of Liberians employed. It will bring benefit to the country, which I think will be a good thing. But do it the right way. That's how I see it.
Yeah, Paul, but what do you call do it the right way? Because they signed a contract on the 8th, on the Sunday. If it's agreement, let's agree that it's MOU. It was agreed on the Sunday. But there's no law that says you can't sign it on a Sunday. What is it?
The
What's
thing is, when
lawful?
we do it the right way, you have the lower house and the upper house that usually will agree, and then before the president, all of them involved. But you
But
can't do it then later on say that gentleman agreement, memorandum of
we
understanding.
But
No,
do you know that the president from the start of the kick or start of the day one, this person has breached all contracts, all contractual rules. You look at the turning positions that has been violated, and nothing happened to him. Other things been violated, nothing happened. So what even giving? Look what our colleague just said. If it's an MOU, if the head of the National Investment Commission, you're able to consent, agree, and just give the message to the president and just wait for the Senate to go ahead and look at the proceeding. Why will you go to Dexter, the president, to authorize that to give the note, to give go ahead that this should happen? If it has to be the ministerial complex, why go to the president? If it's at that high level, why would that be if it's not a kind of agreement? Francis, will you comment on this for us? Because you keep saying to it was an agreement. I think the National Investment Commission should have the authority, he has the power to look at the benefit for the country and say, look, then speak to the president and brief the president about the potential, the positive impact to the country, instead of the president give all the big news, the U.S. embassy coming up saying, oh, we have agreed that we'll use the Liberian railways and we have agreed it's going to go ahead. Could you speak on this for us, please? So you seem to be the spokesperson for Unity Party here.
Oh no, you trying to portray me. You guys trying to picture me as
Yeah, this is why you're looking like you're a spokesperson. You're saying that
I'm not.
you put this
I'm
out
not
in a statement saying that
No, but Francis, it's not wrong. It's not wrong for you to be the spokesman.
Yeah,
If I belong to any party and that party won't, I can sit on the platform and defend the party.
The way he's taking it, like we're looking for the good side. I think what Paul said, but just
I'm not a member of Unity Party. I'm not a card holding member of Unity
No, but at
Party.
least we are informed. We are informed about their happenings.
No, listen. Before I come on the show, I know we're going to discuss these issues later on. I listened to all the commentators, all the talk shows. And these
That's what
people
make you informed, brother. That's what makes you informed.
yeah.
So,
These people
answer the question.
appear. These people appear on the show, and from what I gather, that there was memorandum understanding. I guess in my mind that prior to President Boyka going to America, I think he was pressured by this guy, cause alleged that this guy, the Canadian American, is a good friend of Trump, and he played some role, behind the stage for President Boyka to meet Trump. So I guess before you go to meet Trump, what we have for sign something.
Pay for
Sign
play.
a memo,
Pay for play.
a memo. Yeah, you would say that.
Pay to play.
Sign a memo. This memo. I mean, Mr. Authority, I'm speaking.
Give the man chance, please.
Yeah, I'll give you
Sign this memorandum of understanding. It does not equate to a contract being signed. people from all sides are spoken, depending on where you are, how you see it, from which lens. And me, in my own mind,
Jamal, you keep protecting Francis when we want to
the
ask a question since you let
representative,
him there. But
Let him
the
speak. Let him
representative
speak. Let him,
is
yeah,
let
but
him
you keep
speak.
raising more questions.
Yeah, let him
Listen.
speak. Give me chance. Let him speak.
what questions
He
are
finished. He finished.
Let's
Then
make
he
it
No,
asked
no.
no,
you.
Let's
let
make
him.
it interactive. We can't sit there and
Yeah, but
be
let him
talking and
finish.
raising
No,
your
no.
okay?
question.
Go ahead,
I want
leave
to find
for
out something
talk.
too. I want to find out
Okay,
something.
okay,
No, I
go on.
want to find
Fine.
out. I got to ask you a question.
After
President is
after
saying,
after Lebo, I
President is
want to bring
saying
something
that
to Francis' attention, please.
before President Franca could travel, maybe this American Canadian guy is a good friend of Trump, and so he pressured Bwakai in a way to sign the
Twist the arm.
memorandum
No, the twist the arm. Just like that.
understanding.
I'm twisted. Yeah.
Yeah. So the question is, okay, the signing of this memorandum of understanding, does it really
As
have
all the
any
thing I see is
significance?
hypothetical. I say it might have been that way. I didn't say. I'm
No, but
asking
you,
the
but
next
you
one.
told us, you clearly said that you know for sure.
Yeah.
It's clear.
You want to
You
clear,
are clearly
you
saying
want to
that it was a
clear the
memorandum of
something. Yeah,
understanding.
But it's
you said
clear.
it.
I
Okay,
said
but
it.
then the
That I
question is,
said
what is
that's a
the
memo of
significance? What is the
understanding.
significance of this memorandum of understanding to the document itself, the agreement itself?
The agreement. There's no agreement because the agreement would be any agreement that was
Oh
according
no,
to law.
no.
The
No, 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 no.
Senate.
You're making
In as
mistake.
much
So
as
let me make
the
her.
house.
Oh, listen, Linford. There's a newspaper. You know, one of the incredible newspaper is Daily Observer. This is what they wrote. It says they executed agreement which outlined the terms of Invaho, Atlantic Access Liberia, Railway and Port. It said has been forwarded to the President Joseph Boakai. Once the President signs the agreement, it will be submitted to the national legislature in keeping with the constitutional procedure. So he signs it. You hear that?
Okay. Yes, signs is as so. What?
It doesn't say
He
news. I'm
signs.
reading. He signs already.
Yeah.
So he's
Okay.
submitting it. So what do
Holding
you say
or
to that?
holding your arguments
No, no, no.
constant.
It's the I'm quoting the Dollar Observer newspaper, the article from
Okay,
yesterday.
holding the data zero story constant. Besides, the president signs it. It does it automatically make it a law? Is that our a consensus in our country?
Yeah, can I bring something to point of information, Francis? Please, point of information.
Go
Go
ahead,
on, Mr.
listen,
Dollar. Go on.
sir.
Go on.
Listen, Mr. Dolly.
Yeah, Francis, I want to bring something to your attention. The president that our president is dealing with, you should know that is a very controversial person. If you think you can trick him, you will be making mistakes because that man is a businessman. You don't play with money business. You don't play with his financial interest. If our president just signed a document and he say, oh, it's just a memorandum of understanding tomorrow and change his mind, or they say, no, that thing was not a proper document and I just signed it to go, you will deal with him. Let me tell you, you will definitely deal with him. And that Donald Trump man is a very rough guy. You will deal with him. So, but what I want you
No,
to understand here is any document has to do with the interest of the country. It's signed by the president. President is the last person
I don't
to
understand
sign
that.
anything in the interest
Yeah.
of the country. If he has put his signature on that thing, that's the final destination. I want you to know that.
But you know what, guys? You know why I'm trying to explain this? It's confusing. Yeah, if you listen to our colleague right here, he said to us, he was emphatically telling us, I mean, educating us that this was like an MOU and there was nothing signed, nothing. And now you
It
keep
still
changing
is.
scripture. I'm coming, brother. He stayed changing, saying that the guy was a Canadian Prime Minister
I'm
talking
not
to,
changing. I'm saying it
or
still
or
means
saying that
MOU.
this guy will pressure to sign. So Booker does not have a rule of law. He doesn't follow anything. He was signed. Was he pressured to sign something that you shouldn't be doing anyway? Why should you be
I
doing it?
said
That's the
probably
question.
he was. I said I
Oh,
didn't.
probably.
I said probably he was. He was. I said according to my own
Hand
mind,
Yeah, hand
my
twister,
own understanding.
according to him.
Okay,
Yeah.
but let me ask Francis one question. Are you telling us that there is some type of document signed? Are you agreeing with us now?
Of course it is.
No, a memorandum of understanding was signed.
There's an
Okay.
agreement signed that they will use the railway
Chiba,
for
you see,
60.
this
Yeah.
is where me, I can start my question again.
Okay,
So,
go on.
what is the significance of this memorandum of understanding to the agreement itself?
I mean, lean for memorandum of understandings are
What is the
agreements.
significance? I know memorandum, understand, I know what it is, but what
But
is the
so you do not know.
significance
You
of
ask me what is significant. Then
Yeah, you make it clear
you
to us.
know a
Probably
no,
memo.
what is the
the way you
significance of it to this particular agreement?
probably the way you understand live understand different. So you make it clear to us. That's what you want you to do. How you see it? What is
How I
significance?
see it
What
exactly.
is
What I
go on.
see it. How I see it. I see this is a yes take towards negotiating a contract. The how I see it.
So should you
It
be doing
might
that? Why couldn't you wait for the house to decide it? Why should you sign before time? Why should you sign when
well,
time?
it's up to the president. It's up to the president.
So, but is that a procedure in the country? That's a question I'm asking now.
Listen, the key word here is that the agreement has never been signed, but it's not been
Oh, come on.
ratified according to the laws. You trying to quote the law according to the laws of Liberia.
All right,
The,
guys.
the
Let's
representative,
proceed.
the legislatures has to agree upon it and send it to the president.
Guys, let's proceed. Uh, I think the brother is struggling to answer the question, so let's leave it as it is.
It's good that you think, but I'm sure I answer your question.
Because he's trying to
Brother
defend
is
something that
the brother is
if
defending something
that
indefensible.
he does that is indefensible. I mean, he's saying that he try to say I think. You said or you were making it clear that people
Yeah,
being
he
from.
said the man here
Then he
was great.
said, yeah, they've been going from radio station to radio station, explain the policy. Then telling us you think. So which
You
one
think
you
No,
think
you
we should think
asked
now?
me now. I told you
Okay.
what it was, and then you guys asked me how I see it, and I
Okay.
explained to
All
you
right,
guys
guys.
in clear
Thank
terms how I
mm.
saw it.
All right, then. Thank you very much. Guys, can we leave that
thank you,
topic? I
sir.
think we've exhausted that enough. Can we move on to a different topic? Whatever the decision is, I think we should look at the other side of it, the positive side of it. Whether it's signed by Burkhardt or the house or accepted, it is to the benefit of Liberians. Let's see that with 25 years, 1.8 billion. I don't care what you do, Liberians will benefit from this. But the question is, let's see the past companies, industries that came to Liberia. Like look at Firestone. Okay, when Firestone up to the present today, Firestone also running Liberia, and look at what they have left us into. So another company is coming, but they're using our railways, using Guinea mines. They're taking stuff from Guinea, using our railways to export their product out of to Liberia. So they're using Liberian railways. That's the deal, if you get to understand. They've been doing this thing for the past 6 years, negotiating the Liberian government to have the deal go on. I think just getting some green light. Um, whatever the decision is beneficial to Liberia. And that's what we're looking at. Bringing jobs to us and bringing more investors into the country. That's a very good thing. So let's see it from a positive point, gentlemen. That's how I see it. I don't know what you think. Let's make a last round on this. If you like, we can move to the next topic.
Okay, let me go quick so I can forget my point. Now
Okay.
listen, when I hear people say uh the railroad will bring investment to Liberia, job to Liberia, let me tell you one thing. You see that railroad coming from Lima going to Paso? I was born right there. My grandfather bought on land right on the railroad. It stayed there. That's where I grew up. It brings no economic value to the people, except what it does. When the train is passing, they need that red dirt on all the trees and all the grass along the road. Okay? Now, let me tell you one thing. When we used to make, I remember between the railroad and the car road, because when they were building the railroad, they also build a car road so that they can transport the material. So there's always piece of land between the rail and the car road. My grandfather always used to make farm there, but he decided not to make farm there because you know what? The dust from the tree, it can damage the rice, the crops that we used to plant there. Okay? I grew up on the railroad, so I know. How many Liberians will be working on that railroad? How is we talk about job creation, we talk about industries. We're not talking about something that is already fixed. The one driver for the locomotive, you will send that inside from Guinea and can drive through Nima, through Bonkante and through Grand Paso. So how do the typical Yapaulo in Bonkante benefit? Eh? We got to look at some of these things. And $1.8 billion, that's a peanut money to settle for. I will tell you something. I'm in the maritime industry, especially in the shipping sector. You got APN terminal that came to Liberia and signed 25 years contract with Ellen Johnson government Eric Johnson Selig government for 25 years. 25 million, I don't know billion or million, I think it's million in that billion, $25 million contract. And can you imagine that the APN terminal, they are the brainchild of the AP Muller Marx, that Danish company that have been in shipping for more than 150 years. At that time, when they signed that contract, they had the largest container ship called Emma Maersk, named after that mother, that Maersk, Maersk. You see, Maersk is their last name. That's the business they've been in for over 150 years. Those people, they had the largest container ship at that time. But right now, I think Evergreen have taken over from them. Their container will carry at least 10 to 11,000 TEU per strike. I mean, when they load it from China before they reach to Europe and go to America, they have made over $50 million just on one leg. And on their return leg, they will make even more. When they come to your country and use the vulnerability of your country to sign 25 years contract for $25 million, when the people can make that $25 million
No,
just on one leg.
no, it's not. It's 1.8 billion. For your correction, it's not 25 million. See
No,
that?
no, I'm telling you about AP Miller Mask, when
Okay, okay,
the AP terminal you get.
okay, okay.
Uh-huh. Where they sign 25-year contract for 25 million, they can make $25 million one day. But because we were rushing, the same thing they do 1.8 billion. What they say? You know what? You know the value of that iron ore, and you know when they transfer, you know what they're getting. But because we are hungry people, you see it? And I will also agree with Francis some kind of way that this guy who is running this PS company, I think they change their name to something, is a friend of Trump. And that's why Trump is so anxious to send for Boaka at this time, in the crucial time, in between. Now, they're going to maneuver Boaka, he's going to sign that contract for 1.8 billion. Now, you see it? So, I don't know how long it's going to be for. Maybe for another 30, 40, 50 years, we'll be getting that dust. All the horses that along the street will be getting that dust for the IO, and nothing will happen. The poor people that will not benefit, 1.8 billion might go in the pockets of politicians. So, we are always a victim, we the ordinary people, because the bad decision the government makes, they do not have experts in these things. What if you have happened from the maritime sector who know about these things? That no container terminal in the world will sign contract for $25 million for 25 years. And
Lincoln, I
then
want to hold you there for a while. I know you.
hold me.
Look, listen. I know we want to move to different topic. Let's discuss that. If you look at what they're talking about now, we heard them saying that the head of the National Investment Commission or head of the administrative complex was part of the negotiation. So I don't think you'll be doing the decision without the consent of
Oh, come
people that
on,
have
come on.
idea.
You grab one guy who will say,
No, 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 no. You don't know the committee that were involved. Do you have an idea? The committee that were
hold on.
involved in discussing
We have always
the agreement?
we have
Do you
always
know?
had this. We have always had a debate or
I'm
the
asking a
discussion
question.
all the time.
Have you had
People,
idea who was committee part of the committee on this
yeah, but yes,
negotiation?
okay. How many
No, but answer my
geologists?
question before I answer your question.
Yeah,
Do you
but
know
how
how
many
many persons?
geologists were on that
You
committee already?
cannot answer questions. Answer my
Okay,
question
answer me.
first.
Ask me.
Do you know those? Can you name those that were involved in a ministerial complex, the part of the National Investment Commission that were part of the negotiation with
I don't know. I
Ivaho?
don't know.
So why are you
I don't
making
know.
this statement saying that people don't have any knowledge of what they're making
Okay,
decision?
but let me tell you. Okay, you know the reason why I made that statement.
No.
If people who are from that sector you're talking about are there and they sit there and make that kind of bad decision, then they are not qualified. That's the point I'm making.
I think
Because
that's
I
the
would not,
point you
no,
hear.
listen to
Instead
me,
of saying I
Jima,
don't know what they're
I would
doing.
not, wait, I would not have been on a committee to vet that APN terminal. I'll always make reference to them. I would not have been on a committee to vet that APN terminal coming to Liberia to sign a 25-year contract for 25 million. I was saying, in fact, I'll tell the people in front of everybody, I would tell you and look right in the face of APN terminal managers and tell them that and give them the fact about them.
Okay.
See, you gotta know.
Thank you. Let's go to
Yeah.
other guys. That'll be the last
I
call on
mean,
you.
guys, I'll have to leave, so but listen, let me just chime in here before I leave. In terms of job creation, I mean, I don't think much job will be created. Our people, we are too mediocre in terms of these small contracts.
Yeah,
$1.8 billion is nothing compared. I
exactly.
mean, the current modern days. I mean, I what I would ask the government to do if it goes to the Senate to push for more. I mean, Okay, our entire country for how many years we can now our national budget cannot be 1.8 million. We can't reach 1 billion, and we somebody that in future terms, I mean that what the investment what people are probably what people are 30 years give 1 billion. Well, I mean we should try to do something better. Liberia deserves better. We need to negotiate hard. These are our resources. It belongs to us. You know, why can't we push harder so that the people can benefit in the long run? End of the day, that all the concession companies making they benefiting. I mean, we don't we call it extort as praise the guy in Burkina Faso. I mean, the guys are seeking the interest of the country. We hear 1 billion. 1 billion is nothing. It's just like, do you know just that 1 million now? So guys, yeah, I mean that's my point. I think the government need if it goes to the Senate and the representatives, they need to push harder. Yeah, they take that thing up to 5 billion to 7 because they'll make more money using our rails. The people they help HASA. Cause I did sustainability studies. I mean, river setting, the dust, the radiation that's causing the poor right now air from the I don't know going for radium that can drive the truck to Dwara all the way now to the Freeport. So these things gotta be taken into consideration. It will not just be a political reason because one say yeah we're creating jobs for our people. And how many jobs will it create anyway? So
Yeah.
I really care
Okay,
about
yeah,
it.
Jima,
Thank you.
please, one second, Jima. Let me just ask more thing to what Francis said. You see, we got to look at the future. Firestone and Sun 99 years contract. That generation that started tapping in Firestone when they first started, they all gone. Okay, what did their children benefit? Most of them were born in Firestone. What did they benefit? They turned around and started tapping. Today, even Balloon is not producing Liberia. Okay, after 99 years, and then you extended that contract. So you see, when we talk about these things, people don't understand. And we have always had an argument where for one person are pushed that on any committee you form, you should have experts in that area. If you're appointing your justice minister, let that man be your lawyer. You're appointing minister of finance, then you be your financial man. But people say, oh no, that managerial position. No. Let somebody get you can't tell me and go make me to put me to JFK. Yeah, I'll manage it, but they cannot draw that and input in do I know them? Do I know the effect? Let's continue, man. But because, this is where we'll be, and we'll be
Let,
stuck. We'll
let
be
me come
stuck.
in.
You know,
Lam-
Linford,
Yeah,
before Padoni
Lambo.
come in, I want to say something. This country called Liberia is a very interesting country. $1.8 billion. Do you know if the government serious, they can generate that money within a year when they pull infrastructure down? What am I saying this? Mr. Cummings talked about ecotourism. Ecotourism alone, with from the time broadcast started to now, they should be talking about generating that amount. Fishery can generate that amount. You see, every household in Liberia is paying $1 a month to the government. They can generate that money. Because the fact is, we don't let to do things right. We always steal from the people and say, "Oh, investor will come." So investor come with something change the wrong with it. That is the story. That $1.8 billion that chicken change, and now we're not looking at the health hazard that it's going to bring. The Americans don't give a damn about your life. They only care about themselves. And this is why if you don't have serious minded people, that's where you get. You see, this is Liberia. Until we become serious, look, if our in authority will suspend all the nonsense about investor coming, let's look at what Burkina Faso is doing. That young men were able to build tomato plant that generate that kind of money. We're not even thinking, but we're waiting for some kind of John, Harry, and Paul to come and sign contract and say, oh, I'm going to employ 3 persons, I bring you this amount. We're going nowhere. If I'm in broadcast you, I will not sign a contract to be honest. That's not it. Because they're means of generating money.
Oh, Boga won't meet
That's
Trump now.
don't look at it that way. Take the people, yeah?
Boga won't meet Trump. Think you get million, but Boga won't go
Okay,
sign from Trump.
Because
Padre, you are next. No, just
You
before
think
coming,
you
let me
get
just say,
millions? You get billions. They put the
Padre, you are
opposite
next.
report
But
just
before you come in, let
stupid.
me just say
I
something.
see.
You know,
For,
yeah, Padre,
for,
just one second,
Yeah.
please, sir. You know,
are you
Paul,
done?
you said it right. Or Padre, you will come in. You know, let me tell you one thing. Uh, until we can put our act together, I hear people say investor, investor, investor. Somebody coming to dig our gold, our diamonds, our iron ore to carry, then we call them investor. Can you imagine? Who is investor? For God's sake, investment is if I take my resources and put it in Francis land and say, Francis, let's develop the land, let's build real estate, let's open factories, let your people work. But Francis get his water, or let's say Francis get a pineapple farm. Then I say, Francis, give me all your pineapple, let me carry it to my own country, let me feed my country. They are investing there, they're not investing. They are only extracting. Those are extractors. We shouldn't call them investors. So I just want to make that point straight. So Padoli
Okay.
flow.
Yeah, thank you. Based on the conversation right now, what I do here is the particular company that we are talking about. I think they are not in Liberia for investment. They just want to use our railroad to transport their product through our country to where they want to go. They got nothing to do or they just giving all that money according to the way you people are explaining, the way I understand the explanation. They just giving all that money to use our railroad. Like if you, it just uniform the toll road. So they're using our railroad to transport their items. So they have no commitment to give her any employment. They pay off for using our railroad. I think that's how I see it to be, isn't it?
That's the fact because they will be using it to get iron ore from Guinea to Buchanan Port for it to leave.
That's
That's
it.
it.
That's all they're doing it for. So they
Yeah.
got
So they
absolute
pay
business
taxes by using that road. That's all.
So honestly, I don't know. And what government, Liberian government, supposed to to look into the hazard because passing through our land to go to where they want to the destination where they want to take their goods to. If it causing or health hazard to our people, what kind of damage we going to get? Because the 1.1, I mean 1.8 million is nothing for people who have problems. Like
You know,
what Lambo said,
uh,
passing there, creating unnecessary health hazard for us. What benefit are we going to get?
the Liberian government, let me tell you, our governments,
It's a,
not
it's a,
Bwaka
it's,
government, but governments or
if
leaders that
started
have been
send
coming and
Samuel
going.
Dotan to make that rule, send Samuel
Those
Dotan.
people, our government have been our problem all the time. I
No,
don't know, Adole or for all of you, you used to travel by road, coming from Monrovia going to Kakata, or I mean, after Kakata going to Banga, there was this place called Weala. Who remember Weala?
I know we are
Very good. Normal day when you passing there, what you can smell?
rubber.
Fine. And
Yeah,
during the
the
wartime,
rubber plantation we are like.
yeah,
Yeah,
during the wartime, we were opportunity to live in Toronto, so we frequented that area. And one day I asked the people, I asked one guy, I said, Mama, you're gonna smell it, or he said, we're gonna smell it again. Can you imagine?
because we used to it.
Yeah, they live there all the time. And that's environmental pollution. The second thing, Nima County, there's just water, it starts in Nima, they call it Ya. They call it the Ya River. Then when it flows all the way and come down, it joins the St. John River, it becomes bigger, passing under Baila, passing to Baila there. Look, stand and look at that bridge when the water is full. What do you see? Red. That water is passing through my town. When that
I
water
know,
gets full,
I know
when
Bala.
that water gets full, it will overflow its bank. So when the water go back, when we go fishing, Paul, just by walking on the edge of the water, all your clothes will turn red because when the water gets full, it brings all the red dust. When you go, then all the red dust will be on the leaves. When you're walking, all your clothes turn red. And can you imagine that certain species of fish, according to our old people, before land cooking, that water had different type of fish, but all of them died. Only certain type of fish can live there now. Can you imagine? But who's talking about it? Environmental pollution, damage. Okay, so and the mud, the mud on the side of that water, the mud. When we go to fishing, we don't use. Just to dig a bait. Just put your hand in because I just soft mud. That rate, just put your hand in the mud, you will dig a bait. They warm up. You need color, you need nothing. Can you imagine that damage? But who's talking about it? But we can go and sign another contract with ArcelorMittal. Then we sign another contract with someone group they call SPS that will give 1.8 billion. Nobody that lost money, seriously. But again, when they look at the desperation that we have for money, so they say, okay, in Europe, yeah, in Norway, yeah, they are very concerned with environmental, pollution to the point where no car, no smoke can come from any car. No, any car exhaust. No, it doesn't happen here. Everything is clean air. In fact, Norway, the country that lives on oil, the only thing we get in the country that oil, that one living on when all start, we all die, we'll be all hungry. But this country is the leading user of electric car right now. And when they are asked somebody, why are we using electric car when we should be using oil so that we can keep our industry running? They say, no, listen, say we get enough money, the oil will sell it to other countries. But we want to keep our environment clean. You see it? So if other countries are trying to keep their place clean, but we are polluting our area for small money, can you imagine what we're doing? And Padori said it rightly. People are not looking at the environmental impact in the long run. But guys, let's move on. I know what Jima went in the back. Is there any other topic that we need to talk about? Or else we'll talk about the president visit to America?
Okay, Jamal, don't know what the next agenda.
Okay, so Paul, anything?
I think that was the next thing you were going to talk about, the president visit to America. Yeah, I think it's the
Okay.
president visit to America.
But guys, yesterday I made.
I think this starting with the rush. That's what the agreement, this memorandum of understanding came about. I think it's the
Yeah,
rush.
Well,
yeah,
something
because
interesting happened yesterday, Paul. Uh, I came from work. Then I went to my other small turning around. So when I was coming home, I didn't want to do politics, right? I was just making fun with the rain on the road, on my life, on my own pace. And then all of a sudden, something just clicked to me. But Waka going to America, although 5 countries going to America. And I made a comment. And interestingly, last night, closing argument, when he invited P.L. Lumumba, he made a scene statement. The morning when I was listening to the program, my skin was trembling. I was like, what? Because I asked this question, why is it that if the Western world, be it France, Great Britain, America, or whoever, if they want to do business with us, they want to discuss anything with us, why are we the ones that they always inviting? Why can't we invite their president? Because they want something from us. What does it take the AU leaders, the African Union leaders, to say, no, listen, Western world, America, you're being inviting all the time. You can have the US, Africa summit all the time. It's time for you all to come to us. Let's sit down and talk. What's happening? What are we not able or gentlemen, talk to me. What's happening?
all right. Let me answer you. Let me answer you that.
So Linford, they think it's simple.
Paul, let me
Let it
answer
talk.
Linford. Please allow me to answer Linford.
Okay, go.
Linford, first of all, we are not capable of doing anything for ourselves. So, you see,
You
China,
think so?
Africa was much better than China way back, 50 years ago, 60 years ago. You understand what I'm saying? But the fight hard to become independent. When you are economically independent, you can make an independent command. You understand? Demand. But we're not able to do anything for ourselves. Everything is about the West. We ask them for even even tablet to solve. We're not able to make it. To face a bicycle, we weren't able to do it. You understand what I'm saying? So obviously, we are puppets to them. So so long we cannot do anything on our own, we will always be secondary to them. So for the West to ask us to come, they're our father. They're feeding us. We're not able to feed ourselves. We're not able to do anything for ourselves. Somebody who giving you daily bread to eat, when you say, come to my house tomorrow, you will not go? No,
And
forget
you
it.
see, this is where I have problem with African leaders. We got a bird baby mentality where we just sitting down in the nest. Let
And,
me tell you.
and
Wait, 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 wait.
because of the mind is weak. Our
No,
mind is
sorry,
weak.
okay. Before Jima and Paul comes, Paul will not coming. But let me tell you one thing. You
Oh,
know what
come
make
here.
people lazy is the mind. Paul,
That's what
imagine.
I'm just telling you. I say
Yeah,
our mind is weak.
yeah, but if when I hear people say we're not able, do not use the word we are not able. We are able, but we are not willing to. No, there is something called willingness.
We
Paul,
don't
if
have
you
the
wake up in
capacity
the
now to
morning,
do it. The mind is weak.
yeah, let me tell you. Let me tell.
Let you
If you
talk.
wake up in the morning, Paul, you know you're supposed to go to work. Then your man tell you, say, "Oh no, I mean you're not able. You can't make it." Then you lay down by. You see it? That's why. And we got a bird baby mentality in Africa where we just sitting there in the nest waiting for our parents, the Western world to come feed us. Whether they give a better thing or that how the bird baby can do a more open. Whether that rally map in the more sorry. Because it feed it ain't able. But have we tried? Have we tried to say, look, listen, we are always coming to you. We got what you want. Come to us, let's sit down too and talk. It's just like every day eating to pour her. Okay? Why I can't call Paul one day I say, "Mama, I get dry right here, come too." Let's see what Paul will say, no, yes or no. We have not tried. And I see my sister here mentioning security issue. We don't have the same person anyone any say they want to provide security for us. Okay, they provide the security. America got bases all over the place. Will come to us, but we are not invited them. So we are already willing want to go, but we're not invited them. So Paul, take what's your take?
Uh, Thank you, Linford. If you have a puppet government, the word puppet, that I'll refer is to if you get little dogs in a house, because dogs can't fetch for themselves, you got to feed them. So anything before they eat, they won't eat. You show them the food, say sit. The dog will sit and
Yeah,
be
we say,
patient until you say eat the food. That's how we are in Liberia. Look, I'll refer you to Burkina Faso. Why that young man got rid of the French government after many years they've been milking them, but he took us 10. No, we fed up with that nonsense. This is where you become independent. But Liberia is not independent. Liberia is just a country that was, I think you sent that video to me about this woman explaining the founding of Liberia, the slaves that went back. Liberia was just a testing ground for get these black people that don't want that for some reason yet go try that experiment. But we were always controlled. Could you imagine that a country here, the president of the United States called the president of people jubilating in Liberia? Does that make sense to you? So the slave mentality that's in Liberians, that's why we can't go anywhere. We just stuck with these one people until we open our minds and say, look, we get so much to offer the West. For over 200 years, these guys been milking us. They gave our hand and we pay back. And they say, oh, they are our closest, how they call it, allies. But the people don't know. Take one American and ask him, Liberia. They don't even know the country Liberia. But say Israel. All Americans know Israel. Egypt. All Americans know Egypt. So you see the link? The places that they link with, the people know about this country called Liberia. This is our bulldog on Reddit to say, do they to do it. It was Liberia when they in the United Nations in voting, wherever America vote, that where Liberia will go. They cannot stand on their own. So what you expect? Could you imagine? Young Tuareg living said, no, I don't need a French boy anymore. I'm looking at the multipolar world. the way things are. I'm liaising with people who are left money. Let me help my country. Until Liberia come to that realization, we go nowhere.
Yeah, guys. Yeah, the topic is quite interesting because for me, I was wondering to see if Ibrahim Traore would ever venture to go to USA for the African trip. It
They
does
say
seem
whether
really
they will
intriguing.
invite him.
No, it's not by invitation. You will not even honor that invitation.
Of course.
First
They will
and
not even
foremost,
invite him because they know a man.
first and foremost, let them go by. You guys take you back to history from George Walker Bush to Bill Clinton, yeah, to Barack Obama, and lastly to Trump. All these presidents, except Trump, did not make an attempt to come to Africa. All these presidents I just called, they came to Africa. They came to Africa for a visit. They show interest in Africa. You heard there's a common saying that Trump called us Africa's a shithole. Sorry for the word, the expression. He said it to us.
Yeah.
People said that it's a way to encourage us so we can get
Even
ourselves.
Jimmy Carter came to Liberia.
No, I'm just saying something. Yeah, the president are coming. They visit Africa. Let's forget about Liberia. They visit Africa. These countries went to Africa. Bill Clinton, George Bush, Barack Obama, which before this guy came in. What's his name? Trump came in. Trump first came in. Trump first term, he did not care for Africa. Second term, he doesn't care for Africa. So why run to him? The people in the USA, they only want our resources. They don't want our innovation. They don't need us. They don't need us. They tell you they don't need us. Look what's happening. They're tightening all those immigration, those visas. They entry into the country. Why would we rush to him? Africa needs Africa. We would prefer, nobody complaining about going to China. China is giving, what projects China is doing? China is not involved. You know, I was surprised when I heard that American embassy releasing a press release on the contract, 1.8 billion. American embassy, what you got to do with a private company? Are they using another security network to get into our network, into using the companies to use to infiltrate into our security system? And we don't even have one.
Yeah,
But the people
Jimmy,
owe
let's
us,
talk about
Jamal, they owe
America.
us studying to the jury. We owe them.
Yeah, but which Chinese government has
What do you have there to have from America? For God's sake.
I'm just saying
Tell me.
something. The last time the AFRICOM, they were bringing AFRICOM, all these things to build the Africa so it can able to attack other countries. So if you look at China's other Eastern countries, their government is not involved in private companies. But Firestone, you mess with Firestone, you mess with American government. You mess with the Ivanhoe or whatever they call them, HPS, the American involved. So they are calling this guy to twist his arm to sign the contract. So the people in the house is, the procedure. We know that Omar Barker violated all the laws of. We know that, so it's not an issue of.
I want you to add this. You know, Trump, he said, "America first." So this particular company that is going to Guinea, who benefit is American jobs in America. So if Liberia is the blockage, that's why they called it. He said, "Look, your dad want to see you now. You the child come. If you don't come, this." So they're rushing. This is
last time
this
he
is
was
a slave
there.
mentality.
Yeah, the last time on President Barker was, he didn't even see him. They didn't care to see him. When last day was the America, didn't see him. No, the African Summit, he was there. The first African Summit, he didn't see him. They care to see him. Now, what's happening right now? Look, it's from Guinea to come to Grand Bassa to carry the iron ore to use your export. That's all they need. They need our line. That's all they need. And now there's only blockage 6 years. Yeah, that's one from Guinea through to Grand Bassa. They want to use the port of Bassa to export their product. That's what they've been working for the
And a
past 6 years.
shorter route.
Yeah, but they want to use ArcelorMittal using our route to go. Now the people of that, they got a cost on him. Environmental hazard.
But it's the Liberian government that will be. It's the Liberian government. It may not be Pwaka because after 6 years, they don't guarantee that United Party is coming back.
You have a problem with your internet link.
So it's the Liberian government that will be in problem because ArcelorMittal. Yeah, sorry guys for my internet is tripping. But ArcelorMittal is not going to take this thing easily. As I see it. So
the government twists
they got to be very careful. And until we can trap them, I don't know. And this is some of the danger in electing old people from the old school to be leaders. I'm not against old people, but again, their minds are built. Let me tell you, they will be talking about it. Look at Baka went to July 4th celebration at the American embassy. He started reading about like very traditional time. You think American people know that and teach something. Everybody know. You see, for you to carry a good policy, you talk about like our traditional time. Bullshit. Sorry, man. But yeah, man, yeah. You talk about new people know the world has changed. Everybody is looking at the phone.
What an information, Jeremy. What an information. Let me bring something there. Lambo, what an information, please. What an information. What an information,
Yeah, go
Jeremy.
ahead,
Go
bro.
on. We listen. Go on.
Papa, don't go
Hey,
ahead.
okay, thank you very much. Hey, we agree that the matter did not go to the member of the house. It's in the American embassy, not the Donald Trump ambassador. Tell our lawmaker there that document are going to the this time you're not coming to America. How are they with that?
Yeah, but besides
No,
that,
but
all the
that's
point.
illegal. That's unfair. I mean, it's
Oh,
not
come
true.
on.
It's not.
You
It,
can
What
it's
remember
what
not.
in
what
this
It's
illegal?
honor
not
in
true.
You
this
force
way,
America say
that
first,
to
don't
show
carry
to
you
you
say
that to
what
show
you
to
say.
No, no, no. Listen,
you
you
that
coerce
how weak
people in that
how
way.
weak
We
we
all
are.
talking about it. I
These
mean,
are the
you.
these
I
are the
mean, it's
situation we are. How weak we are. You can tell that to Burkina
No,
president.
but no, you see, and this
But
this
right
is why
now
I
you
said
see,
this
you
is why I said
imagine
it will sound
that
bad.
you imagine in a anybody, any lawmaker or any government official, when he come out in the news, say, oh, he went to American embassy for visa and they deny him. Everybody on society is still away. He
You know,
looking superior
Yeah, but
to the
this
office.
is the point. This is the point I was making. You see,
Eh?
even the God
That's the problem we have in the
the God that
country.
people serve, the God that we serve, the
Yeah,
God say what?
one government
God say,
official will do that. You will see,
yeah,
you
God
will see
say, I am the I am that I am. God promoted himself. He say, if you do say I am, nobody will say thou art. So you're saying that you're saying you're president. He said because I'm America, you president. That's why they call you to America. So you African leader, you're calling the people too. Say you come here. Eh? Until we reach that point where we build our courage.
you making that statement, you know it's not working.
No, it's workable. Well, we are
The
not
problem,
trying.
guys,
We are not
can
trying.
we move to a different topic now? I
You
think we
know,
are
you
just
know, I'm sure Patoli will have denied if somebody said when the Ghani Traore can draft the French people from Burkina Faso,
no,
Patoli would have said no, it can happen.
and you have done it. So
Yeah,
obviously,
but
how will I deny
every
that? So I'm
that is
seeing
to
it.
tell you that everything
I've
is
done it.
possible. No,
The
nothing is
mind,
impossible until you try to do it.
the,
See,
the, the point of the matter is the mindsets of our people. These are some of the things that I'm talking about.
but that man
We've
we
been
talk about
doing this
teaching.
for 100 and some more years.
You
That's
know,
the man we talk about teaching.
another thing, guys, that happening right now, the Barca jumping to sign this agreement ahead of time to submit. They stopped those people in the house chopping because they were like waiting for that chopping to drop. So they're not going to ask for anything anymore because before you got the contract through the House of Legislation or Senate, man, you got to pay a huge amount of money. And nothing going to happen. So the embassy just caught ahead of them. That's what happened. They're just going to cut ahead of them. All they got to say are chopping close because they know all they were looking for. They're more open right now for chopping Liberia before they got put pen to paper.
I mean,
But let's see what.
Jimmy, I was about to leave, but that's a very good point you just raised. I think we made the garden so mad in front.
Yeah.
They're so mad right now
Oh, they are.
because
Definitely they are.
it undercut their whole eating. But I think the reason why they reached
Friends and
yes.
Jamal, where you're talking, they owe me been in our house for 12 years.
So you block them. You block their chopping.
He's the mastermind. It's the man is not, he's no stranger to the place. He knows.
You block their chopping.
It just
Oh,
because they
it's
were
trans-
last when George Weah could leave, before he could leave, they were about to sign it, but Asa Mita came in at alert that Asa Mita came in with more money.
Yeah.
So so when they're playing with money between the men that gave we had them some million Asa Mita gave other men. How they got them made a break.
So the
You
puppet,
know, friends say,
the puppet spoil the show. So the way the puppet just spoil the show.
Jamal, before friends say
Yeah.
leave, before Francis leave, something I wanted to bring up. You know why Trump is pushing this thing for these 5 African countries to come over? Because today, as we speak, China is now holding most of those iron ore in Africa. So these guys too, and the race of building more weapons is also involved. So their thing here is, if Liberia keep dragging, we will summon them, yeah, they open this thing because we need an iron ore to produce more arms. This is all about geopolitics that between the two heavyweights. So Liberia now, being Liberia, being a puppet as I'm saying it, that's my word, that has in my own country, they will definitely give in. So
But
guys,
can we argue Liberia? Can we say no to America? You said, Frank. Can we? We don't.
Yes,
It's
yes,
not
we can.
possible right now.
Who have said
Maybe
no
Yes,
to
we
America?
can.
Who has said no
Laura,
to America?
no,
Yes,
no.
we can. We
Who has
can.
We
said?
can't, but
Who
not
has said?
now.
Yes,
Okay.
I say yes, we can.
They might call
We
you.
can't yet.
They may
Well, not now.
They may put
Lambo,
visa restriction on you. You can't complain. Now they go and call your
You
home and
see,
you running to
you
America.
see. No, listen. Yeah, and this is where we are always missing the point. No, I'll be denied visa.
I mean, Paul,
America is not a only country to go to. You got China. And when you go to
we're
America, what are you going to do for
talking
God's
about
sake? You just,
Liberia. We're not talking about all the African countries. We're talking about Liberia. If
yeah,
you
but
say
I'm talking about
Liberia,
Liberia. I'm saying
yeah,
Liberia can say no to America,
You
but
know why you
because we
saying
are
this,
not
Liv?
by it.
Liver, you know why you saying that? Because you live over 20 years in the West. If
in
you're
the West, in Europe,
yeah, if you are in Liberia, but you will say this. If you are because you live in most countries, you live in the middle, you live in the East Asia, you live in Europe, you live many places. You went to America, you know all the places because that's why you're saying it. If you're in Liberia, you'll be like, you
you're not
don't want
saying,
us to sell your mind and go to USA, you will sell your mother. What are you talking about?
so
It's a one
so
way
so
to
Jamal, let me bring Lifa back to the war. During that Liberian Civil War, you remember when George Bush said Taylor leave or was something. Then after a few hours, the American warship came up. Look how people were celebrating that was the end of the war because American warship show up. That I mean, so Jeremiah, you're right. It's something they have on Liberia that Liberians will not even be brave enough to say, you know what, we're not listening to you. They
you
can
know,
do it.
no, they can't change their mind. Hello, guys,
Liver,
can we move to the topic?
Liver, everything is me. Maybe our grandchildren there, grandchildren there from Europe or America will say no to America. But now our people in Liberia will see that. It's not possible.
The
Hey,
first,
my friend, quite
the first,
recently, the
yeah, go on.
lawmaker then they banned them from going to America. They gave them visa restriction. You see how they reduce?
Liver, if they tell you don't go to America, you don't even care. All
Yeah.
right. If they buy you, say don't step to America, you would never care because you don't care. Because where you live, you're satisfied. You live in one of the best places in Europe. One of the best places in Europe is Sweden. I mean Norway. You live there. You don't need America. Many others on the platform. That's how people are.
Yeah,
Look at
yeah.
the
But
condition of our people.
you see, and this is where I think, but you guys are right because that's the mentality that people are born with. Do not, and this is where they put fear in people now. And then we're having problem with religion because religion will put fear in you. So you always take it that even if you know you're right, but that fear in you. So they say if you say no to America, you will not go to America. And tell me, what are you going to do to America? You go to America, you start a new life. Whether you're a millionaire like you go to
They're
America.
not putting any money into your account. They're not doing nothing for you.
Yeah, they not
You
put, they will not go and say, can't even a free hire, can't get free money. But you scared that okay, I will not go to America. I would have lived in America all the time. I go to America. I've been to America
You
over
know,
20 times.
guys, what we just discussing is the first thing they will do
Yeah,
to
I
our people.
agree. See,
They want
but
to
the
put
thing is,
condition on you.
until we can have a leader, until we can have a leader with that mind, yeah, that no, you're not doing it out of
Listen,
disrespect. You are doing it.
not only
You
that,
are doing it with the people understand democracy. You get your right to say, okay, no, you are president. I'm president. Even though you are everybody now equal in a family, you get big brother, you get small brother. We are all
Eh,
family still. We are president and
yeah,
president. We are
yeah.
partners. So yes,
Liver, if you want to practice that, let's start investing into technology to be able to make things for ourselves. then we'll be able to make independent statement.
Yeah,
We
but all
will
the
be
thing you're getting,
able
you're not getting it from America anyway. America said they're getting
Yeah,
everything
but
from the West. I mean, from
it
the
also
East.
it also go back to our
but,
people.
uh,
The leadership need to fix the country. So you see, there are few
Eh,
African there are few Africans that don't travel. You don't see them
yes.
anywhere. People from Gabon. Most
Gabon,
African, yeah, there are other African countries they don't travel because they feel home. They feel at home. What they had, they all have at home. They don't travel. They just travel for holidays.
Rwanda,
Back home.
Rwanda is one of those.
After the war,
And
Rwandans
guess
are
what?
going back.
Gabon is on the visa waiver program for America. I was looking at the list
Yeah,
today.
because they don't travel. They don't
Yeah, can
travel.
you
The
imagine?
problem, yeah, they feel at home. This is way.
The Liberia that rushing. They're now on the
Because
visa waiver program.
Yeah, because the problem I live for is that the environment, there's not enabling environment for our people back home. Everybody's struggling. Everybody, so if you go to US right now, you feel like you got everything at your finger. You see them wearing
Uh,
these
wait,
fashion clothes, taking pictures, sending across, and now making other people home. If you go to people to get daily bread to eat in Liberia, it's hard. If you there's a living condition improve in Liberia, you okay. Before you and my sister growing up, America was just a big thing. It was the Viva waiver for in the US. We were not going because the
yes,
life was good.
yes.
The
What
situation
you made
life need to
true.
improve. Life need to
We
improve. But
don't
life
need to take visa from Labrador. We need to just get in a plane, get a plane ticket, everything. Upon
yes.
arrival, we give you visa to the airport.
But now it's not happening because everybody running the hardship in the country, making everybody to go. So that's why the first thing we do,
You
they tell
talk
you,
about a proper time.
yeah, they will tell
Do
you,
you know? Do
they will
you
tell
know
you,
where
oh,
the
we must.
American embassy came up with a few times that Liberians to get visa now you got to show your social media account so they can
Yeah,
Yes,
check on you where you have been up to before they will make the decision whether to issue you visa.
Because
yeah.
America that heaven, you have to go to heaven or make a visit.
Exactly.
So yeah.
My
So
man,
anyway,
let's
guys,
speed up.
so the issue is that we all the bottom line, gentlemen, is this: we need to the government, the leadership need to improve the country. Living condition of people need to improve. The social economic condition have to improve. So our people don't have on their mind they have to travel. They have to every Liberian want to go out, and the first place on their mind is to go to USA. USA is the first thing. When you got there, most of them are suffering, really struggling, living out. They don't have people to can even come home anymore. And that's a lifestyle. So with the mind that if you get it, bro, hey, I got to the cold, I got my life is better, I'm going. No, and the people that are going to America, they are not all coming to you. Most of us coming, we're not telling people the truth. We thought life is at everything's we can walk into the park, it's a bag of roses. It's not the truth. So when people living back, if you come from America, you come from Europe or other part of the world, you got all the money. We don't even have time in this place compared to those in Liberia. We don't have time for ourselves. We don't have time. The money we're making going back to this the life we're spending. But if you got that money, you must say make here, you live a very good life in Liberia. But how many of us willing to go home? And if you go home, why what a life you going to live? Because you don't have the job. That's why most of us will stay here. I mean, not a job, the creation of the creative environment where you can make your own business, live your own life. You don't need to work for government. So the government need to create an enabling environment for our people so they can go home and make better lives. They don't have to work for government. But if that is not there, people want to run out and live their life outside. That's it.
Jimmy, let me to buttress what you just said, Jimmy. Our government is a government that suppress the people that are trying to establish good business to open employment for the citizens. If you don't bribe them or if you don't blow their trumpet, they want to make sure that they bring you down to your knees. That is the country that you and I are coming from. Because it happened to me myself when I was having business in Liberia. I was not in good relationship with the government at the time. What did they? They bring me down to my knees. And right now it's happening in Liberia. All the business people that are there are not blowing the trumpet with the Liberian government. What are you doing right now to them? They finding me to bring them down. Try to realize that when you bring that business down, a lot of citizens going to be out of job. You don't care. You see the problem we have? See the
Okay,
problem we
guys.
have?
Gentlemen, we want to take a break, quick commercial break. Come back, we'll tell you the free port of Liberia or Monrovia. That's the free, they call it free of Monrovia. I don't know why they call it free of Monrovia. The gateway to our economy begin 24/7 it's a marine operation. Linva is here to tell us all about this because that's his area. Freeport of Monrovia start 24/7 marine operations. What does that mean? So we'll take a break, we'll come back. Let's discuss it, gentlemen.
Di Lorenzo, G Grace. Hems vocal, Liberia number one vocal. Liberia number one, right? Okay.
The phrase, a new sheriff is in town, does not only belong to law enforcement. How about the introduction of Liberia's premier vodka, a quality and customized liquor for all occasions? Try the flavor of your choice. Ham's Vodka, Ham's Honey, Ham's Bitter, and Ham's Original Vodka. Ham's Vodka has no hangover. That's why they say Papa drink Mama happy. Ham's Vodka is sold in all stores, shops, supermarkets, and entertainment centers in Liberia. For wholesale, contact Ham's Vodka at 0777 001114, 0777 000 We can also be reached via social media on Facebook and IG at Ham's Vodka or www.handsvodka.com. In the United States, please contact Hands North America Incorporated at 610-543-9289, 484-888-1622, 484-755-8411. Hands Vodka is approved by the U.S. federal government. Hands Vodka brings out the real man in you.
I tell you in my boy in my blood. Every time when I stay on the block, everybody knows it. We hustle. And forgot that number one. Oh, from Liberia all around. In supermarket store and everywhere. And forgot that number one. Oh.
Thank you very much for joining us. You are just watching the Borderland Liberia. My name is Jamal Kamara with my colleagues in studio from Norway, London, and also in Manchester area. We are discussing what is happening in Liberia. Tonight, we're discussing the issue of the free port of Liberia is starting 24 hours, 24/7, yeah? Marine operation. That means they'll have a night shift. It never happened. Never heard of it. I grew up in my 50s right now, and I never heard of this. It's happening. So Linford works, he studied maritime to the master level. He know all about marine operations. What have we heard under the new leadership of Sekou Dukle? The operation with 24-hour how do you say that? Marine operation. That means that we having vessel operation every day, night and day, 247. So we have increase. There will be increase in staff, increase in operation. So ship will be coming night and day. It won't stop. So Linford, you know much about. Tell us what you think before my colleagues take a round on this. What is the benefit to us? 24 hours. Don't you need to put more constraint on labor, or what is there any good in today? 24/7 operation at the Freeport of Liberia or Freeport Monrovia. What you tell them? What should we think? What do you think from your position as a maritime expert on this issue?
And it's interesting that I'm just hearing that the Freeport of Monrovia will start operating 24 hours service.
Yeah, it was just launched this weekend.
Yeah, and all through my affiliation with the maritime sector, especially the maritime industry, especially this shipping sector, I have never heard that ports will close. Like you close and then you close, nothing happened. No, listen, I was in the Philippines doing my internship, and it's not one of the biggest ports in the Philippines, the port of Davao, and that port runs if there were anything beyond 24 hours, okay, and there is no day, no night. People are on 3 shifts, okay. So to hear that the Freeport of Monrovia is instituting 24-hour service and it's a big achievement, well, let's accept it. But this shows how much we have been missing out on the maritime industry of our country when we have so rich maritime system. We got fishery, and maritime is a very big it's a very big industry. So I don't know everything about maritime because you got a fishery, you got maritime engineering, you got maritime different things in maritime. So in the shipping sector, if the services that will be running will include ships calling at the port 24 hours, well, that's good. We're going to now start earning money. If it will include ships leaving, or if it will include other things, that will help to boost the economy. So I think it's a good news. But actually, to be frank, I'm just hearing that the maritime industry will closing.
I think Liver has some a company there, right? Guys, Paul, while Liver is trying to come back to explain to us, Paul, Maritime in Liberia operate Freeport, we call it Freeport Monrovia, 24 hours 7. Mr. Dollar, you were one of the security, you worked for years as a chief investigator at the port of Monrovia. So you tell more about what happened in there. This is something good for us because Liver is telling us why he didn't know why the port was closing. And probably what is happening by 7, every operation ceased at the port. And now the new administration, honestly, Kudukle, is telling us that we'll open
Yes.
up. Come in, sir. I just want to lay this up so you can get me information. So the port will have 24-hour service, 24/7. That means 7 days in a week. The port is open. Operation go. What it said, let me tell you what I was in the news dealers. It says, this is what it said. The vice president was there, Jeremiah Kuhn was there when they launched this activity. So that means we didn't have 24/7 service at the port of Liberia, Monrovia. So this time, we got port of Sana, port of Bikana, and port of Gapo, and also port of Monrovia. That's a free port. It's the one we're talking about right now. That's the biggest port. It will be having 24/7. That means operate 2 hours of the week, Monday to Sunday, and the ships will be open. Nothing will stop. Vessels will come. They'll open the vessel. They'll empty the vessel, or how do you call it? What they want to do with the vessel will do that. So, Mr. Dolly, you work at the port for a couple of years as chief investigator at the port. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, tell
Yeah.
us what is your experience with this? So is this something we are talking? Is this something right that the port was closing at 7 o'clock, everybody goes home and come back in the morning by 6 and start work? Is that good news for us?
Yeah. Let me make a comment on this thing here.
Mm,
In the first place, the statement from the port manager is a misleading statement.
okay.
At the time that we were there, I started working to the port as a chief of operations from there and became chief investigator and later on became the director for investigations. Control all ports of Liberia, Buchanan, Harper, everywhere and most of that. So our Freeport never closed. Even those days, it was a wartime and it was an interim government administration time. The Freeport was operating 24 hours. You understand? People were waiting.
24
But
hours, 7 days a week.
I say throughout
I mean, from
24,
Monday to Sunday. That's what I'm asking.
even Sunday.
Okay.
Some Sunday it will be so busy, but even Sunday, you understand what I'm saying? I was there. I served as a director of that place for 3 years. So basically, that information there is something to promote itself to the eyes of the Liberian. Maybe being uh, early Johnson Sheridan coming because I was not in the government at that time.
I'll,
And
I'll, I'll quote what the newspaper said, Mr. Dolly. Let me put that for Paul He said, let me tell you what's happening. He's saying, yeah, the night they are quoting the newspaper dealers always say the nighttime navigation initiative led by the NPN under the leadership of Sekou AM Dukle enables 24-hour vessel operations at the Freeport of Monrovia for the first time in Liberia's post-war history. In Liberia post-war history.
maybe after the law war,
Yeah,
after
post-war history. So after the war, there have been no 24-hour service. You were there before the war, or were you there during the war
I
period?
was there before the war.
So after the war, that's what they're saying.
Yeah, I was there before the war. So
So
I am telling you, we were running that place 24 hours.
So that
Run.
definitely means that after the war, there was no 24-hour service then. That's what they're
So
saying.
Yeah.
maybe in the absence of some of us. But Freeport is a place where vessels supposed to be arriving at all times. The fishery, if the cargo ship is not there, the logging ship is not will be there. Different kind of ship were there. The only ship were not coming into our free port was passenger ship.
Okay, Mr. Dollar, just leave that now. It's happening now. The caution is said a good news after the war. That's it. Forget it now. It was not. It's happening now. That's what we
Oh,
look at.
yeah. But what I'm looking at is a good news if provided that happening is that going to go on continuously is a very good news for our country. It will also give employment opportunity to some people. You understand what I'm saying? If you do only running from one ship and they're trying to have a three ship now, so they will increase the employment and it will give a chance to some young people that just coming up to work. So it's a very good news. I embrace that. It's a very good news. I like it. Well, to say he was not happening, that's they where my comment comes from.
Okay, thank you, Paul. I think you work at the port before, did you?
For
No,
no
I
work.
never. For me, I never worked in Liberia before, so and I
Okay.
don't think I will ever work in Liberia in my lifetime. So I'm one of those people that anything come to Liberia work, even private sector, no. I am who I am. The guy who live in
Paul,
paradise and
I want to
oh
hold you there. Paul, you have some couple of businesses I know that are running Liberia. You got more full businesses running Liberia. What do you think you can that's work as well. You don't have to work for the government.
yeah, no, I mean working for somebody, not for myself, working for somebody or working for government, never.
Okay.
Yeah,
Brand,
that's
okay.
that's what I meant. So I think it's a good new post-war Liberia to have a 24/7 port. It's a good thing, but that is addition to some young person getting a job because one person have a job, you feel about 10 person. So that way it alleviates some sort of stress on some family as well. But the thing is, this thing about the APN terminal that is there that have been causing harbor for a lot of Liberians when they bring in their goods. Unnecessary money that been given to some group of people. If the government could tackle that group of people and then I think it would be a good thing. But 24/7, I think it's belated since how many years now since the war ended. So making it look like this is what we need to do is another thing is maybe because the electricity a little bit stable now because electricity been one of the major factors that they couldn't do run 24/7. So maybe the electricity situation is based calmer now. So why not go
Okay.
24/7? Yeah.
I think also this should also help for Liberians to venture into a marine, school system. The Liberian school of marine. I think that the school that set up that teaches marine operations in Liberia, how to manage marine operation management. So
Yeah.
many of us Liberians will venture into going to these schools to able to work at various ports, not only become an
Mhm.
operative at the port, but have some skill set that can able to work on these boats. You can work on these vessels, do some management instead of giving it to foreigners. Because I remember when APN Terminal went to Liberia, they were there for some years. At some point, they will have to turn over the management to Liberians, and they were to train Liberians to take up the management. And this should also happen where I hope the new management will also give chance to most ambitious Liberians to go and study marine operation, marine management, can able to manage our various ports. It's not only the free port of Monrovia. We got Port of Harper, Port of Buchanan, and Port of
Yeah.
what is it, Greenville. So these are very ports we have to manage. So I think we need to not only think we need to encourage Liberian to the government of Liberia to support the maritime school in Liberia to able to bring in good professors, equip that school to able to manage our various ports. We are one of the countries in West Africa that are very lucky we do various ports and are not properly managed. The port of Greenville is a very good port, very closer to Cote d'Ivoire as well as Port of Harper. That's also very good. Look what is happening right now. The Ivanhoe, the EPEX, the American company want to use the port of Buchanan because they want to use Guinea port to come to the port of take their marine, their whatever they're getting, the bauxite, whatever they're getting out of Guinea, coming through Liberia to go to the port of Buchanan to export. So we still need Liberians to work at various ports where we don't. There will be an issue, Paul, where we have an issue of skill set. And we need to, the government library need to invest into education. And I'm not going to go to the Universal Library. That's another be our next topic of discussion, where there's an issue of fraud, exposing fraud, overstaffing, and academic fraud. And when our higher universities are in this situation, what happens? Then it's the question of education credibility comes into our country. But anyway, Paul, this leads on to the second topic, the last topic on this. Linford, you still want to finalize, make a statement on the final thing on this marrying something. The good thing about it, we'll look at the good side of it while we go to the last topic, which is education reform in Liberia. The question is, of the Maritime School in Liberia, and does this give us an opportunity for young, ambitious Liberians to go into in the area of maritime studies, management, able to manage our various posts? I was saying that we are one of the countries in West Africa blessed with a couple of ports, seaports, and we need Liberian to managers, Liberian not only operators at various ports, still general operators, but we want to become skilled operators to manage our various aspect. What do you think? What can we tell the government like to this?
Yeah, it depends on what is being offered. There is or not. Somebody please on it.
Dolly.
It depends on what. Well, because if we just say because the port is going to be operating 24 hours around the clock, so it will create more job. Yes, it will create more job, and in that sense, it means that let's say you have only one shift, people go to work maybe 8 o'clock and finish 4 or 3 or 4 o'clock,
Yeah,
okay, and then the port is closed. So if you run from 3 o'clock again, maybe to 12 o'clock in the night, and then from 12 o'clock to 6 in the morning, yeah, then you have additional people, at least two sets of additional people coming on. So that in that sense, it will create more job. But that doesn't automatically mean that people, the maritime people, the maritime industry will employ a lot of people. Yes, say you got the three shifts running and people are working, people are employed there permanently. So if you train more other people, where are they going to work? You see? So
No, well,
it's
we just mentioned that various ports in Liberia, they don't have to work in Freeport, Monrovia. They have to work other ports in
yeah,
Liberia.
but so the question is, are all of the ports going to
Yeah,
be
no,
operating 24 service?
you know what I noticed Linford is like the port of Harper is very close. Is needed because the port of Monrovia is being overwhelmed. So other companies were asking the port of port of Harper to be used and port of Greenville. They needed to offload small ships to offload in our port. So they need more people in that area. But Liberians are
Okay,
not willing to go to the rural areas to work at the rural ports.
okay, let me tell you something. There is this is where I'll try to write a project proposal on this thing. Uh, you see, we got Liberia is rich. Okay, when it comes to waterway, number one, you got a free port of Monrovia, which is a landlord port. Then you got the port of Buchanan, the port of
Greenville,
Sano, and the Greenville, rather, and the port of
yeah.
Harper. Now, those ports, they can never, under any circumstance, fall under the free port of Monrovia by definition as a landlord port. Okay? But if the government of Liberia wants to incorporate them, they can do that. Because you live in the UK, you got all the ports. You know that those ports, some are private and some also are owned by the state, which is a landlord port. See, so, but I don't know what the structure in Liberia looks like. But there is something in shaping that we call cabotage, and that should be utilized fully so that those ports, those small ports that we get named Basel, Sano, and Harper can be revitalized. Cabotage is also right given to citizens of a particular country to only trade in their local sea or their local water. Okay, so that means no foreigner has the right to run any shipping activity there. Only we, the citizens, can do that, and that will help the economy a lot. So you do have to have the guy from Sano, the fuller guy from Sano, kind of who got a shop there, coming way to Monrovia to buy salt. No, so the shipping And there are individuals who can buy ships. So those individuals who get money to buy ship or to even rent to contract ship can be the ones running that system, coming from buying things from Monrovia, short sea shipping, dropping in Pequena, picking your thing from Pequena to Sano, from Sano, and then on the return leg, they bring things too. You see, so those ports should not be dormant. And I agree with you. That can create more jobs. So can you imagine how many people in Pequena will be working at the port there 24 hours, or in Sano, likewise in Hapo? But if those ports are closing like around 8 o'clock, or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and everybody goes home, it's a lot of jobs that are being wasted. So I agree, it will create job as well. But we got to first of all create that system where the ports are active and not only waiting for up to now. I don't know whether there are any shipping activities on the coast. I still got to verify that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, go
Can I
on, Mr.
make a,
Dollar. Go on.
yeah? Can I say something, please?
Yeah, go on, sir. We hear you. Go on.
All right. Number one, the Freeport of Monrovia control all the other three seaports we have. Kitama.
It should not be that way. According to their definition, according to their nomenclature, the name that they got, it should not be that way.
What they say, National Port Authority. The managing director. Listen to me. I went there.
I
I
agree,
went.
but see, this is not about what
I
they're doing.
agree.
We're
Listen, I
talking
agree.
about. Let me tell you, they got different type of
What's
ports.
happening now? That's
Yes,
why I'm going to tell
listen
you.
now, listen. I'm not arguing from the I'm arguing from the professional side. If you say you policeman, you can't go be doing a nursing job. So if a port is a landlord or landlord port, okay, or if a port
Uh,
is
I was the director of security at the port. Listen to me. How I met it and the how I left it. So let me. I'm not disputing the fact that what you say is not right. No, I'm not saying that. But what is happening? That's why I'm telling you. It People can transform our post system in the country to make it viable. That is true. I agree with that. But what I'm trying to tell you, how the port being operating from time to time up to present is the one I'm telling you because I worked there. I was one of the senior managers. So I went there. I know what I'm talking about. All the four major ports in our country, I was the director responsible to monitor the activities of these places when I was director for investigation. So Port of Buchanan was not doing no commercial activity like Freeport of Monrovia. Only Freeport of Monrovia were bases bringing con- continued goods and stuff and things then for the business people. And by right, if we want a good economic system, we should be able to open Port of Buchanan for that kind of commercials of vessels to come in with goods. Instead of people leaving from Buchanan to come to Liberia for goods, they can stay there and get what they call. So, like what you were just saying, Sano, the rich people in Sano is the fuller people. They are the rich people down there. But they have to travel from Sano, coming all the way to Monrovia to buy their goods. And Sano Port only operating on lodging. Besides lodging, nothing else. And that's not supposed to be.
you
You
see
understand what I'm
the the point I'm making anyway.
saying?
Padre, I understand you work
Let
as
me
post
let boss.
security.
Let me let boss.
You work under the
Kitama,
SPS. You work
yeah,
under the SPS, which is the post security system, right? I agree.
yeah.
What I'm telling you is, you see, because there is a lot of things, and this is where when we talk about you having or people having, you know, professionals inside
I'm
security
now a
in the
marine
country.
manager. I'm now a
The name
marine.
of the Free Port of Monrovia. The Free Port of Monrovia is a landlord port, meaning that that port, the authorities own that port. The authority, which is the government, owns that port. Now, then you gave it a name called Free Port of Monrovia, which is quite different type of port. A free port is a quite different type of port. It's an industrial zone. Okay, so you can have two things functioning as one. You got it as a free port, then you turn around, you got it as a landlord port. You see, because if you have a free port, that free port is an industrial zone where
Yeah,
all kind of industrial activities, and this is why,
can
if
I,
you remember, Turbo
yeah,
instituted something called the National Free Zone Authority.
yeah,
There, materials,
Lambo.
raw materials are supposed to be processed, and there are private companies that are supposed to be doing that. The government got nothing to do with it.
All right,
As
then.
a free
All
port, the
right.
Yeah,
government got nothing to do with
I
it.
will, can we take this discussion to another time? We need to just know the importance.
Let me educate my brother on that thing there. The nomenclature of Freeport of Liberia came on for one reason. Liberia, that port there, it was a duty-free port. You understand what I'm saying? People were not paying duties on that. That make a free port of Liberia. He was surprised the landland country like Mali, all their goods need to come through Liberia. During Tokma administration, he made that available for the landland country like Burkina Faso, Mali. They need to come to get their goods from through Monrovia. They were not paying
You that
no.
doesn't mean you're free because what you talking about is called transshipment.
It was a
Transshipment.
transshipment.
No,
Transshipment.
my uncle worked
So they
as
were
a
not
transhipper.
paying. They were not paying. Listen to me. They were not
Yes, so
paying.
that doesn't make you a free port.
No,
I'm
no.
giving you
Listen to me.
professional
They were
definitions.
not
Guys,
paying.
can we put this to end? I want to move to another
Yes,
topic.
I'm giving professional
Yeah,
definitions.
yeah, we are
I'm not
not.
imagining.
That will, can we put another discussion? This is we're just talking about the benefit of the pro being 24/7. What are
No, no, the benefits are
yeah?
there. I
That's what we're
agree.
looking at.
That's
Yeah,
what I
that's what
said.
we should look at.
That's
That's
what I
what
said.
we're
If
looking.
you make
So
it
you tell people.
24/7 and you running like 3 shifts, you
Yeah.
create
Yeah,
more
you tell
jobs
people.
because if you have a stevedore company that is operating from 24 hours, so they got set of people that will work from 8 o'clock in the morning, maybe to 4, then another crew start from 4 to 12, another crew start from 12 to 6. That's creation of job. I agree. Okay,
The
that is
seven.
nobody can deny that.
Yes,
Okay,
I agree. Seven the people are the people that handle the cargo movement, like the container, the car ship and stuff and things.
All right, guys.
These are the seven
Thank you very
people.
much. I think it's clear. We will find a time because Linford is well. You guys, you work at the port before, Mr. Dollar. Linford also is man who study the marine operation. So
Is a marine person. I was there as a security to
yeah, we know
control.
we got two different aspects here, but we also like to listen to two of you.
I
But now,
have nothing to do with the marine aspect. But what I was there for is to investigate any criminal activities that take place and to monitor the activities of the civil area workers and stuff and things that if they
thank you
were
very
not
much.
fraudulent activity. That was my function.
Thank you very much.
So
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Thank you for your information. So, guys, the last topic tonight to discuss is education reform. Universal Liberia president exposes overstarving and academic fraud. What a big shame. The university have an issue over starving, and they got the academic fraud. Now, this is what happened. Sometimes we hear some years back on Olin Johnson Salif. I don't know. You guys should set me right here where there was an entrance and minister for students that want to enter the university. I think everybody failed, and that was a big news. I first heard it on the BBC when I was here that nobody passed the entrance for University of Liberia. There was a different set of team that came to administer the university entrance, so nobody passed. That was a big thing. So that means that our educational system in Liberia was play with, mess with, and this is what happened in state. The new university president is exposing fraud, academic fraud. What does that mean? Something's not right at the university. So, gentlemen, let's look at this. If our highest learning institutions have issues like this coming up, what do you expect from other schools, like other universities, as well as government-run institutions? What could be the reason why these things are happening at your schools? I'll take care of Mr. Dollar first. What do you think?
thank you very much. Let me tell you something. Basically, those days we were having good delivery education system were going on. But now, if you tell the high school graduate to even read or to compose common letter, you will see that you know nothing. Because you know what caused that? The war. The war come to our country, it damaged the economy, the educational system completely. People are not getting relevant tools to be educated with. Those that portray themselves as a teacher, they don't have the potential of academic education to be a teacher. You know, if you send them to teacher college right now, they will not even pass the test. So everything is a fraud. So it needs a good government serious to revamp our economic system, our educational system. We need to rebrand the entire educational system to start from somewhere level to give chance to people to go for some refreshment training and stuff and things to cope with the international level. Right
Okay.
now, is a fiasco. Let me give you an example. Even university students tell them, come read me your position statement. You will not even know. Some of them.
Okay. Guys,
That's,
somebody, I think we got a sound coming. Somebody mute, please. If somebody's blinking for anybody got something in the back, will you please mute your monitor? Yeah, go on, Mr. Dollar.
yeah. So as I was saying, all derived from the war that came in our country and damaged our educational system.
Okay.
So we
Mr.
don't
Dollar,
have
but I
the
will hold you there. The question you're raising now, right now, is then what you tell me about Rwanda that came after, they had a war in 2018, in 1984, and now people from Liberia, other part of the world, are going to Rwanda to go study, and they had a war, the same war we had. And they have one of the best universities around now where they had war. So why you say war would be the reason?
that I'm telling you.
Yeah, but yeah, the war is in Rwanda. You got a lot of you got one of our most Liberians are in
I
Rwanda
want
now
you to,
studying.
I want you to look at something about human character. Is this mindset of a human being is a serious problem. Rwanda war was brutal and nasty more than Liberian war. And Rwanda war finished after, when we finish our war. Rwanda was still fighting and finish their war, and it became well advanced country because the mindsets of the citizens.
But you
The
said war.
question,
That's what I'm saying. I was thinking like you're telling me about the mindset of our people. You said the war. That's a different way to
yeah,
compare it. You're telling
after the
us,
war,
yeah,
the war,
Mr. Dollar, let's get it straight. We are talking about the education system. After the war, every country, every economist will think like a war will bring new things to the country. You change the whole lifestyle, things will improve. You start from fresh. But now you say war, they damage everything. I think we should start all over, and they got it better. But we got it worse. Then you say again the mindset. Which one are you saying? Is that the war or the mindset? I want you to get it
after
straight to us so we can get it clear where
the
you're coming from.
war, the war of our country traumatized our Liberian people. So, and at this moment, still, we have not been serious-minded person to agree to our error.
What about the investment of the government into education? Are you looking into that? Or you look at
Yeah,
the
but
people? You keep blaming the people. Who's
goes
responsible?
along with the mindset. Even the government of the country is no different from the citizens of the country. They
All
are
right.
the same human beings
Paul,
that
what do you
living.
think?
We expect a lady like Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to invest heavily into the education because she's an educated woman. But what she
All
did,
right. All right, thank you, Mr. Dollar. Paul, what do you
So,
think about the system?
so the question here is the president of the university exposes overstaffing and academic fraud.
Yes. At the
The,
higher, our Liberian Higher University. I know you were to out of you came in one of the product of public school in Liberia, one of the well-respected high school in Liberia, Tottenham High. I think people used to fight to go to the university and talk about during your days. And now, with the issues going on, what do you think about government schools,
the government schools
run
today, I
schools?
don't think there's any more government schools in Liberia.
Okay,
And
government run schools.
what
I mean,
Yeah, there's no more government schools because government schools they are uniform and people are just doing their own thing.
mm.
The system is corrupt and people are struggling. People not even have dime to send their children to school. That's why they send in cold water. But the situation here with the new president of the University of Liberia, the University of Liberia is the among all the universities in Liberia, they pay the highest in terms of paying teachers. Now, back in the days when we were studying, because I didn't go to the University of Liberia, I wish I was privileged to attend the University of Liberia. I didn't do that. So we have books, and there were libraries that were used in those days. Now, the current University of Liberia, the professor gave out pamphlet. If you doesn't buy any of the pamphlet, you have to see that professor on the side. Well, that's the academic fraud that is being talked about. That student pay for grades. You get a concept now, Jamal. The
Yeah, I got
university,
you. I got
yeah.
you.
So that's why she bringing out. It shouldn't be like that. The university should have good standard, and if you have, because all of these university, you leave from the University of Liberia, then you go to another university, say you teaching. So bulk of them, they play games between all of the university, because that's the University of Liberia is the one that pay most. So you have a lot of people pushing their friends through to get courses. And also too, some of the professors at that university, they are working somewhere and they get their teacher assistant to help them to carry on their function. You see what that come from? If you have teacher assistant, then he's not prepared, to teach somebody, it become academic fraud. So I think this is what the president is doing, and it's a good thing that she cleaning all the university. We should give her credit.
But I think it would be necessary to do heavy investment into the educational system by having a servant to educate. Like what you just said, we don't even have a library. We don't have a computer lab. All these kind of things. There.
Yeah, but
How will you
but the government is not even pumping money into this
that's
institution.
what I'm
And
saying.
the reason being,
Our
even if you
government
look at the Liberian budget, if you look at the budget, they don't put money that will benefit the people. They put budget, they come up with something that will benefit the president pro tem, the speaker, the vice president, and the president. They take
Have,
bulk of the money.
have you seen the university building picture lately? What happening? I think the
Oh,
government put
please.
in talk about $34 million for the renovation, but before that money came in about a month or two ago, you know what the building look like right now? Anyway, Liva, if you got your time, can you tell us what you think about the academic fraud and the overstaffing of the overstaff at the university, the highest educational system, institution in Liberia?
The
So
university have always been overstaffed. The
I
fact
heard that
that most of
I
the
heard that
graduates,
you wanted a teacher assistant before at the university.
no, no, I did not become teaching assistant at the university. I did not even graduate from the University of Liberia. I entered the University of Liberia, and then later on, the working, I dropped. Then I came back in 1997. I entered again. On my senior RD, if I my RD was one of 16692. I still remember that RD 16692 when we came back after the war. The ball was in like 30 now, three digits. I mean, from 30, I was staying in 16. But I did not actually graduate from the University of Library before I traveled. But the university had always been uh, overstaffed. The fact that they would normally get some of the because of the cost to maintain the teachers. So they normally relied on some of these TA, like you mentioned, the teaching assistants. I remember John Brunel was my physics teacher, uh, physics 101. Uh, and so a lot of guys. And then the academic fraud part of it is that it's been there from day one. As from the time I knew I started affiliating with the University of Liberia even when I was in ninth grade. I was not attending a university in ninth grade. Don't get it wrong, but uh, as early as 1979, we used to be on the campus there all the time. Then 1980, there were a few guys, you know, from Paul living with Paco Mafia and were friends and were running the canteen. So I frequented the university all the way until I graduated from high school. So the whole canteen there, we were running it. And that's where I even learned to play pool, professional pool. But the point I'm making is that we knew all the system, how some people enter our university, they just enter like that, some kind of way. There was a guy, I will not call his name, I will only call his initial KO. KO at the university for more than 20 years. He can't graduate. He turned around, he became teacher there. So a lot of things can happen at that university. Okay? And it's always been like that. Number one, uh, the economic situation that people find themselves in. And if you know, now it's good that in Liberia we got several private universities, but it used to be LU or Cottington. And then all the high schools, Tubman High alone can put out several graduates every year, plus all the other high schools. Then everybody want to go to university. You see it? So it begins difficult. Or are you guys talking? Because I see people doing that hand like this. Do you hear me? But I can't hear anybody.
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, okay. So
We
this
hear you,
problem,
but just go on mute so you can talk. Go on.
yeah. So this problem of overstaffing and academic fraud has always been there. Imagine, just recently there was this guy called Dor Cooper who had the nerves to go stand on a line to graduate when he had not even sat in class. I mean, this is the highest, the highest fraud that I have seen at the University of Liberia. I mean, there were frauds where people who gave teacher money, to get a grade, and that's small things could happen. But for you, my brother, to go stand on a graduating line and wear gown, how did he get a gown? Yeah? How did he get clearance to get, because before you get a gown, you must have clearance. So this fraud thing has always been at the University of Liberia, and because that's a American talk. Plenty thing happening. I told you I was at our university long before I even graduated from high school and before I even started attending there. So we saw many, many things. If you remember 1983, 83 or 84, there was a case where the examination leaked. The US entrance leaked. I can tell you that entire story and who all were involved. And most of the people that are involved today are all big guys. But so they can talk all. But our university has been replete fraud all along, and it's all because probably no perfect system to put in place, or the check and balance system has just been weak.
All right. Uh, Thank you very much. That was a good one. Mr. Dollar, I think Paul is away from now. So do you want to say something on this before? And I think time fast spent. We want to wrap this one for we'll take our last words. On the university, you want to say something? I think we're trying to say something about the university issue.
Yeah.
Still want to say something before we go and take a round?
Let me say one or two words about the not only particularly about the university.
Okay, then give your last words now before we wrap up.
It's, the point of the matter is this. You have to start from grassroots level to go to the higher educational level, which is the university. But out elementary level coming to high school to universities, all are messed up right now. So if the government wants things to be done well, let them redesign the entire educational system. People don't have the relevant equipment to learn from. The educational system is very, very poor. Quite recently, I think 3 or 4 days ago, one of the teachers in local counties wanted to commit suicide. He was in the news. So, educational is not given no priorities by our government. I don't know for whatever reason. And the fail to realize that if the future people are not educated, then is a recipe to disaster for the future government or for the future nation. The entire country will perish because there will be nobody there to substitute. So obviously the government, whoever in power, they need to focus on education from the grassroots level up to university. They need to revamp the whole thing. That's all I can say here.
All right.
Because
Okay.
otherwise, we will not have no future.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. This is we're talking about, if you just joined us, this is about Liberia. We're looking at the various topics, Liberian newspapers, headlines, news for the week, and some international news. The last topic discussion tonight was Universal Liberia president exposes overstaffing and academic fraud. We remember in 2019, about 6,800, I think 6,800 something, let me get the right figure, 45 something student failed when they went to sit for the entrance exam of the University of Liberia. That was a mass failure ever in the history of Liberian educational history. And this is what's happening right now. I think, I don't know, guys, before we wrap up, do we give credit to the new president that is posting this? I've never seen this in the university anywhere that the the president of exposed this thing coming to the newspapers that the education system overstaffed, it's not better, it's not good, and she's coming out to condemn her own system. So she's there to clean up the place. And this lady is not a Liberian. She's a Latin American Liberian, African American. And she's in Liberia, she took, and there was a big debate around here.
Tomorrow,
She was a big debate about this lady being non-Liberian being taken to run the highest institution of learning in Liberia. But now, do we see that as a good sign that this woman is exposed, this lady is exposing the fraud in our system? And if so, now, we see a good thing because Liberia have issues, but even the private universities, we said the Higher Education Commission in Liberia has shut down a couple of universities and high schools in Liberia for being substandard with regard to in line with the rules and regulations of how to set up higher education. And also, I think the Ministry of Education will also on this platform find some high schools for overcharging students for why I think graduation fees. So, what issues like this happening in Liberia? So this we will be looking at tonight, and I think we've gone too far on this time. I want to go around and ask my colleagues to make the last try and see how do you see the show and what will be the last comment before we take a wrap from this end. I will start with Linford from the top. Linford, what do you think? What was the show and what will be the last comment before we wrap up?
Well, this is so far to my knowledge, after 4 or 5 years of having this show, this is the longest edition we have had, complete 3 hours, and it's interesting. That means that we are growing. We could even go 2, 3, 4 hours, or in the future.
Mhm.
The show was good. I will not share everything very briefly.
Mhm.
Um, we we focus on the international front, and this uh, Netanyahu nominating. I don't know. There is something wrong with this guy nominating Trump. I mean, you're fighting for your life, so to speak. Politically, you're fighting for your life. Socially, you're fighting for your life. Then you there nominating somebody for Nobel Peace Prize that you got no complete control over. Well, I mean, it doesn't hurt. Like elections can come in Liberia can nominate anybody, but it depends whether the person will win or not. So he's nominating Trump for Nobel Peace Prize, but my sense still remains the same that Trump is not going to get a Nobel Peace Prize for several reasons. Number one, Trump himself is a divider. He's not a unified leader. This is a man who is carrying on mass deportation of people who make contribution to the greatest country in the world, America. And you are deporting them. And if you look at how ICE is treating these people, knocking them on the floor, dragging them, with no respect, people that have not committed any crime except for moving somewhere to get better life. Okay, so for such a man like that to receive Nobel Peace Prize, I think one of you put it earlier on, rightly. That means even Hitler they should give Hitler a Nobel Peace Prize. Then our president or African president is going to meet Trump. I think that is just a showcase. They want to give them mandate. It's like you come like how the military, the commander can call for muster, something called muster, right? You can stand give a command and say left turn, then everybody turn right. I mean left, right turn, everybody march on, everybody march. They're not going to have any input. Trump is or the American government is going to be dictating to them what to do. And if you look at those 5 countries, they all got some strategic interest that America wants. Okay, look at Senegal. That little guy, the young president there, inherited a big American base that is built there, and then they're going to tell him that we're going to solidify this base and we're going to do this, and they want Liberia to get on board. Number one, two things Liberia will be pressed to do: to accept the HPSD, and then secondly, to also accept the African deal. And for the other countries like Guinea-Bissau, they know that it's been run by dictators, so they're going to threaten the guy. We want the mineral, we want the iron, the gold and thing you got. So there are all interests involved. And as for Mauritania, what is the next country? Mauritania. There's something. No, they all got some strategic interest. Then coming
Burkina
to yeah, then coming to Liberia and about the free port or the Freeport of Monrovia and the Leeward ports. I think they will create more jobs if they have 24-hour service. But I'm still wondering what will be happening in Buchanan. Okay, Buchanan, there's little life in Buchanan, but sign of all places. If you're running 24 hours, what will be happening there 24 hours? Remember, 24 hours. There are minutes in the hours. Something must be happening. So we hope to see, and then the same thing happen. We hope that that the system will work because I know how costly it is to run a port. It's very, very costly. Ships that caught at ports, they pay huge money, and there must be something that they are paying for, not because they are yet docking there. So, those are widely what I mean, basically what we call widely, and I'm very impressed with the show tonight. It's exactly 12 o'clock. So I would like to say thanks to all of our viewers that joined us the first time and those that are always here and your comments. Chadero Branch Play, you need to appear on the show and be one of the panelists, or you can still remain silent in the background and just make your contribution. That's good. We accept anything you want. So it was a great show, guys, and we want to thank everybody from my end. We meet here on Friday again. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I won't be your father. I'll take to the main crowd. The man who just celebrated his 25th birth anniversary. The good
Oh,
friend,
oh,
Lord Paul
What is
Russell.
it?
thank you, man. Thank you. You know
What
when
I'm
you
thinking.
when you reach 25, you are very
You're just
energetic.
in the middle of
You
the air. Yeah,
yeah,
go on.
you get the
Are you
energy to
starting?
move about, and that's it. I mean, this can just show you how I am a live military brigade already. So just
Oh,
tell you
my
how.
man, Paul, wait, hold on, Paul. I hope you won't celebrate our birthday. You got to carry something to Antwerp, so we can celebrate there.
Oh no, you
Because
bring
say
it.
I
this
mean,
No, he has not opened it.
I got a fresh
He
bottle
has
of
not
Jack
opened that
Daniel.
JD yet. You know that JD, he said he promised he's going to open it. He said he's going to open that Jack Daniel. He's bringing it for He has not opened it, so he's bringing it with him. We was
Yeah,
to see that. Go on.
but anyway, it was a beautiful show. I'm trying to broaden what Linford said. This is the first time we have gone to three hours, which is interesting, and because the topic was good, and I want to say also to our audience, it was good that you stuck with us. We say thanks for being with us. I mean, the issue with Liberia and the president going to America, I think the slave master have called upon the slave to go for instruction. Until Liberia stop being slave nation, then we will do things right. So they're going for instruction that wherever the cause work holding back the HPS, it will have to go on. But then something also caught my attention. The four other countries there, are they going to because they want give them instruction of the three Sahel nation? That's something I won't have to look at because Mauritania is just next to sharing border with Mali. So all of these things we have to look at it. And but above all, they were good. The show was good today. We had a good discussion. And therefore, I agree with you and Francie regards to Donald Trump. I think Netanyahu just want to play with him because Donald Trump left praises. And what Netanyahu did that he has submitted his nominee to the Nobel Peace Prize body to consider Donald Trump. I think it's just to flatter him more that Donald Trump keep on my side, let kill these people in Gaza so I can continue to avoid prosecution. I think that's the whole intent behind it. So he went for peace talk and now he submitted something. So the poor people in Gaza, they will continue to feel it. Donald Trump not going to get pissed off, but he's just going to go in Netanyahu to continue the atrocities that they are committing over there. So yeah, it was good to be here, and I'm looking forward to the next edition, which will be on Friday. Guys, it was a great show. Thanks you guys for helping with this platform.
All right. Thank you. I would like to comment on two topics. First of all, I will start off with a pre-boat operation to Syria. It's a very interesting story and it's very encouraging. I hope it will go on continuously forever. That will help our citizens to get some jobs in that country because I work there. I know how important it is free food of Liberia is because our visitors, Kipamos, Sanos, and Happer, I've visited all these areas, all they put there, I know how they work. Previous days, they don't have commercial activities there. The only the cannot put were only dealing with the iron ore, the transport, Sano, logging, Kipamas, rubber. That's all they were doing. They were exporting through the port, and they put not to the standard, international standard. If you want to do any work down there, you need to carry to drag the apple and to make sure that the ship can able to drive into this port then. So obviously, I hope the managing directors will do better for that country. The something about Netanyahu and the presidents of the United States. I look at both of them's activity as a jovial something. Quite recently, Donald Trump called the Israeli judicial system to drop the cases against Netanyahu. He asked them, he said, look here, I noticed that this man is breaking the war and here and there he is afraid to leave the power so you can't prosecute him. So I advise that you people drop the case. Donald Trump has said that a week ago before sending for this man to come to America, asking the judicial system in Israel to drop the case. They have not responded to him yet. And this man, who is a Netanyahu is a professional criminal. Even there's a time that once this man was the president of America, or Barack Obama, he and Sarkozy, the former president of France, were talking something about this man, and the media people, they were talking about, say, I never see somebody who can laugh compared to Netanyahu. And Sarkozy said, yes, that's true. This man can laugh too much. So all of them know him that he's a very professional lawyer. He is one of the longest prime minister of Israel. He served in that country several times as a prime minister. So he knows all the tricks, how to maneuver his way around. So I hope the international communities will look at the situation in Gaza to find a drastic decision. Today, I watched the speech of the French president in England, what he was saying to the British Parliament. He said they should do everything possible to bring peace to Gaza, to make sure that they should restore sanitation in Gaza. He was saying that, well, I look at all their statements as just a fiasco statement because all of them still want the American president to take the lead before they can follow. So I don't know. However, gentlemen, tonight was a very nice conversations we have, and I will always be available, as I said, and we will be there to see whatever little knowledge that we have about our countries, and to also educate people on the training issue that taking place in our country. Our country is the direction the country going to is very, very scary because the president is now in control of the country. The police directors in our country has become of one Idi Amin and taking to make a regular statement at all times. Even quite recently in his press conference, he said to the people that are planning a protest, he said he will only warn the organizer if anything go wrong, there will be hell. So he
Okay.
had started from
So, Dollar, we need to summarize now.
I'm
We
trying to summarize. That's
yeah,
what I'm trying to
summarize now. We gone more than 10 minutes now. Only 5 minutes.
But you people say you can't
No,
be
no, we
10
need to
minutes.
finish now. We need to summarize. So go ahead,
So
please.
tonight, at least we'll take another important time. You people say we have not been going to
No,
3
no, we
hours.
want you to summarize now, boss.
So I'm summarizing it now. So, gentlemen, let's pray for our country. I hope our countries will take the real directions to manage the country the proper way. Thank you very much for allowing me to be part of your show. I'm available at all days, more especially Tuesday. Every Tuesday, I would like to be here to say one or two words that you people will ask me to do. Thank you very much for allowing me. Fortunately, you are turning 25 years old. Thank you very much for that. You may say you are a 25-year-old man. So, thank you very much. Keep on. We wish to see many more years to come in your life. Thank you.
There you have it. That was the Bottom Liberia. Today is the 8th of July, 2025, Tuesday. We'll see you on Friday here, GMT 8 o'clock. Don't miss it. Please subscribe. And we got the show. Please share. We want to be part of your life. Be part of our life. Let's discuss Liberia as well what affect our life. My name is Jamal Kamara. My colleague is Paul, the Lord Chulu Play. Lane for Egon Goy, the man of the mark, and we got Mr. Yankuba Dollar. And want to wish you a pleasant evening. Thanks for staying with us, and always make Borderline part of your life. And I want to wish you a pleasant evening.
This is the Bottom Line Liberia. Join us on Facebook,